Peaks is the best in the game. Here, the ultimate lunch lineup boasts wall-to-wall sports and scenic views. When you're hungry and in a hurry, the Scratch Kitchen delivers lunch in the clutch. I mean, where else can you order a 29-degree draft beer and a quickie combo on your lunch break? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Twin Peaks Scratch Kitchen scores every time. Dig into hand-smashed burgers, chef-inspired flatbreads, and more at your local lodge.
Fall is here, and with it comes all the traditional family outings like tailgating, mountain and beach adventures, and road trips to grandma's over the holidays. Wherever you go, go with great gas mileage, safety, technology, comfort, and style in a new Honda from Honda of Columbia. Right now, you'll get more for your trade than ever, and as always, you'll enjoy their no-hassle pricing, no-pressure buying experience. Honda of Columbia, your friendly family Honda dealer since 1978.
New Silverados.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile. Together, let's drive.
WNKT FM, Eastover, Columbia.
Congrats to the Gamecocks women on another national championship.
A Cumulus media station. It's the Love Chevy High School Scoreboard Show.
With Justin Hall and Elijah Campbell on 107.5. The Game.
That's right. Welcome in. It is the Love Chevy High School Scoreboard Show on the Game. Justin Hall, Elijah Campbell, Ed Bird. He runs this show. Welcome in.
It's the Ed Bird Show, actually.
It's week 9 or 10. I don't know.
Does anybody really know what time it is? Does anybody really care?
All I know is there's high school football, Mr. Campbell. And
most importantly,
I have... I find myself plopped, by the way, in between, 6 hours of Tyler Head radio, and now we're going to go on 7 hours of Elijah Campbell radio.
Make it 8. I tagged in the last hour with Tyler. So there was a little bit of a Tyler Head, Elijah Campbell overlap.
I missed 2 to 3. My bad. Sorry, guys. Had things to do. So
you had your job. That work.
We got a long night ahead of us. We'll be here until 11. You can join us on the Love Chevy phone lines, 803-404-6100, on the YouTube stream, The Game TV, where you can watch us if you want. That's there for you.
I'm wearing my Halloween costume.
He is.
A little something to look for.
I am not, because that would have been weird, because I'll just give you a hint. My daughter is dressed as a lion. So I'll let you kind of marinate on that one a little bit and figure out what I could possibly have been.
The Tin Man?
No, but you're on the right track.
Scarecrow.
If I only had a brain.
Right? Dang.
Okay, so Tin Man, Scarecrow, Lion, and then Dorothy. I was not going to be Dorothy.
That would have been really funny.
That
would have been really funny.
That one's been handled. It's totally fine.
That would have been hilarious.
And we wouldn't have had the live stream going for that one. A lot of great games tonight. As we move on, a lot of great games tonight. Some would call it a light schedule, right? Here's the thing. There's football happening. Therefore, it is not a light schedule.
Correct.
Football means something to these kids playing tonight, and there are some good games. Hammond is at Ben Lippen. We'll get into these later. Laura Richland is at South Florence. Strom Thurmond is at Saluda. That Strom Thurmond-Saluda game, along with the Hammond-Ben Lippen game, has not only playoff implications, but it has undefeated club implications.
Yes.
Undefeated club implications. How many teams, I'm going to spoil it as we look ahead here. We'll get to it later. How many teams do we have?
15. We are down to total. 15 in the entire state.
How many were there last week?
17. So there were early only
okay.
Two, but both of those were in 3A. So 3A went from having 3 undefeated teams down to just 1.
Yeah, they lost 2, down to 1. We'll get to who that is later. Edge of your seat. I can already feel it. You're waiting. Tell us.
Anticipation.
You gotta wait. That's called tease in the business.
Industry term.
You'll catch up. It's fine. Along with the high school football, which we will be heavily on, the NBA season has started. Game 1 of the World Series has started. Not only that, but possibly the best player in the country in college football is playing tonight at 10:30. Boise State plays UNLV.
Your Heisman frontrunner.
We talk G5, or we talk Group of 5 here. That's totally fine. We'll do it. Garrett Cole and Jack Flaherty getting the starts tonight for the Yankees and the Dodgers. Major League Baseball got what they wanted. We got all of that. All of that coming, along with we were able to sit down. Listen, when you do 7 to 11, some of these coaches are not really anticipating an interview at that point. Unless our buddy Kale's just going to hand him the phone on the field.
That's right. Unless Cale Wilson is in attendance, they are not anticipating getting interviewed after the game.
So, the intrepid journalists that we are, I use that term loosely. Track some of these guys down, and over the course of the next couple of weeks, we will have some conversations with these guys because I think it's important for you to hear from them. The first one I wanted to get to, and this is we'll get into it in a minute. Chad Leapart has been on the show before as the head coach of the Gilbert Indians. But not only has he been the head man at Gilbert, he's been the head man at Swansea. Two very good programs in his time there, two very good programs historically. But now he's transitioned into a new role as the athletics director for the entire school district of Lexington School District 1. So we bent his ear about that. We talked about some hurricane rescheduling and what he sees as the two biggest stories in high school football in 2024. So before we get any further here, let's hear from Coach Chad Leapart, the athletics director from Lexington School District 1. Welcome back into the Love Chevy High School Scoreboard Show right here on the Game TV, and on the app, wherever you're listening. Glad you're with us. We're here with Coach Chad Leapart. I'm still going to call you Coach. They all call you Coach, I'm assuming.
Absolutely. Right? I still use that handle. Everybody calls me Coach, and so that's what I am. That's what I feel like I still am.
There you go. Coach Chad Leapart was the head coach at Gilbert High School for how long are we talking?
I was 8 years at Gilbert High School, and then head coach at Swansea High School for 6 years before that.
So 14 years, and winningest coach, one of the winningest coaches at both programs, winningest coach at Gilbert, and now transitioning to the role as athletic director for an entire district. So walk me through that transition, what that was like, going from just your group of guys in that locker room and the entire school of Gilbert for that matter, and then moving to district-wide.
Right. So, yes, I was the athletic director at Gilbert, so there was that experience in working with all the coaches of all the sports and all the kids in all the sports. So there was that background too, and felt like we really had, more than just a football program. When I was at Gilbert, we were successful in a lot of programs, won a state championship in baseball and girls golf while I was there. And so now making that transition was really getting to know a lot of the folks in our district a little better. I think being at Gilbert, though, made the transition easier because I already had relationships with a lot of our athletic directors that were already in place in the district. Also, a lot of the coaches of not just football coaches, but various sports across the district. There was already some relationship there maybe, and if I didn't have a relationship, at least I knew who they were and they knew who I was, and I think that made the transition fairly smooth. And being in the district, I knew how we operated with things and how we do things, and being able to continue that model, I think that made the transition fairly easy and efficient. And Coach Bennett, of course, had been our district athletic director for a long time, I think since 2016 or 17 as well. And so just working with him all the time and knowing how he did things and just following that model.
Let's look at your former school, your most recent stop at Gilbert.
Yep.
So far this year, having a good year under a new regime, not really a new regime, but a new head coach and a new voice in the big chair. That's just one of your schools, but a school you have a close tie to. Kind of give folks who are listening an idea of how they're doing this year. You've been to a couple of their games, obviously.
Yep.
What are you seeing from them this year compared to years past?
They're finding their way a little bit. We lost a lot of folks off our defense last year, and so they're a little bit young on that side of the ball. And so I think they've been trying to find their way there a little bit. But they've had two big wins recently over Midland Valley and Brooklyn Casey, and they beat Brooklyn Casey. That as a tough game, came down to the wire, 2-point play with about a minute left. Great call by Ozzie and scored, and still with 40 seconds left, BC came down the field though and missed a field goal, and it was a wild game, but it was a huge win, won at their place. That was something I didn't do at Gilbert. Us and BC kind of traded wins with one another at home.
Yeah, the road team has won that game in that series each of the last probably 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, it's been a back and forth, and so that was a big win. And then that they had a tough game, Tuesday with South Aiken. Lost 35-28. Very similar game, back and forth, and came up on the short side this time. And that's what happens when you get sometimes in those back and forth games. Sure. But they're sitting in a good spot to make the playoffs, and I feel like they've improved as the season has went along. As Coach Oz gets a handle on things with the offense and the overall team, and Coach Minshew gets a handle on things with defense. It's kind of a growing process there, but I feel like they're getting better, and hopefully they're going to be peaking at the right time in the playoffs.
That Gilbert-Brooklyn-Casey game, we watched it in studio. One of the wildest games I think I've ever seen. An onside kick that you did it again after a penalty. I've never seen anything like it, and it worked. That was a wild game. I want to get back to Swansea, in a previous stop for you in a minute, but let's talk about Lexington 1.
Yep.
Right now, your programs, you've got Gilbert, Lexington, White Knoll, River Bluff, and Pillion.
Yes.
That are your 5. Those teams are a combined 20-19 thus far this season, and that's with Pillion kind of being down at 1-7.
Right.
So I don't want to take them out of the equation there, but you're talking about 19 and even like a 19-12 record.
Yep.
So far this season, with teams like River Bluff, who have 1 loss, Lexington, who had a great win over Chapin a couple of weeks ago, and their prime position for the playoffs. That region we call the region of doom.
Yes.
With White Knoll in it as well. Talk about your district as a whole, obviously across different classifications, across different regions. How exciting is it for you this football season to have such good quality teams on the field?
Very proud of all of what our coaches are doing, and all our staffs and all our kids too, and what they're doing. And the 5A schools, they really are in the region of death or doom. It's a brutal region. It's the toughest region in football in the state from top to bottom, in my opinion. I do think there was a time when the best football in the state was probably played in the upper state. I think it's now played in the Midlands, and it's played right here in our area, as evidenced by last year's state championship game between Dutch Fork and White Knoll, right there out of the same region. And this region is cutthroat, and you got to bring it every week. And our schools they're going to battle and fight you. All 3 of our big schools there in that region, they're no easy out for anybody, and I feel like they can beat anybody too on their given night. So very proud of what they're doing. I think we've had a good run so far, and looking forward to the playoffs. I think all of them are in line for a good playoff berth. The 5A playoffs are very complicated now, and kind of hard to follow, so I'm having to wrap my head around that. I actually talked with Coach Curtis to give me some insight on it, because it is very different than anything we've done in the state of South Carolina before, with how the 5A playoffs are set up. But so I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of noise they can make in the playoffs there. And River Bluff's definitely having a great year right now at 7-1, and and proud of what Coach Harden and those kids are doing over there. And there's still some big games within the district left. You got Lexington's got White Knoll and River Bluff left, and then of course River Bluff and White Knoll game was a heck of a game.
It was.
I was at that one that night, and my goodness, went overtime and all that. So just excited to see what they're going to do down the stretch here.
Well, Len, and finally, let's wrap around to Swansea, a previous stop for you. And we've talked about this, Elijah and I both, every Friday night. There seems to be a resurgent team, and there are 2 of them in Lexington County.
Yes.
Swansea and Batesburg-Leesville. Both teams having really solid years. You're from the area. I'm from the area. It's a little bit of a drive for me to Batesburg to go get my barbecue, but it's close, and I should venture down there more often. What's it like right now, just seeing those 2 ball clubs kind of restoring some previous glory here in 2024?
Well, you grow up in Lexington County, and really, certainly of my age and older, and a lot of people younger too. I mean, football in Lexington County, Swansea and Batesburg-Leesville were powerhouses. And I want to go back, show my age, but what was it, 1992, they played for the state championship. And they've had many big games over the years against one another. And that they're kind of always been a focal point there with the multiple state championships that those 2 programs have won in the past. And they have both been on some hard times lately. I'm familiar with both of them. We've played them at Gilbert over the last several years, both schools. And so it's but there has been a resurgence, and it's kind of good to see. Obviously, they're outside of my district, but if you love football in Lexington County, those are proud programs that's good to see back on track, winning football. And of course, obviously, having worked at Swansea and knowing a lot of the folks down there, that one's pretty special to me to see that they're doing what they're doing. And Willie Fox is doing a great job. Willie I coached Willie a long time ago at Pillion when I first getting started, and he was a young fella. And it's great to see what he did at Wagner Sally, and then transitioning over to Swansea this year and taking a program that I don't think they won a game last year.
They did not.
And having the success they're having this year, what an impressive job that he's doing.
Yeah, had them in the undefeated club for a little while there as well. Coach Chad Leapart, now athletic director Chad Leapart, but he'll always be Coach Leapart in our book. Appreciate you swinging by and talking with us about the season. Obviously, a lot of schools are on buys this week in that region of doom, so we've got some other action going on as Gilbert tries to make up games on Tuesdays and Fridays and Saturdays and however else we need to get it done. Glad that headache's out of the way for you for a little while. Yeah. Hopefully we don't run into any ice or anything in a couple of weeks. Let's avoid that.
That was already crazy enough getting that schedule worked back out for Gilbert in that region.
Well, we appreciate your time. Thank you so much. That's Coach Chad Leapart right here on the Love Chevy High School Scoreboard Show on the Game.
Why reboot the internet when you can rebuild it? Now, the internet, as we know, was built for the last 50 years when landlines ruled and cable TV was the future. Well, we know that's not the case now. Now it's time for the internet as we don't know it, where your digital life is never interrupted. The metaverse isn't just a concept, but it's a part of life. It's now time for 100% fiber optic internet that is built from the ground up. An internet built for the communities where we live, work, thrive, and grow. An internet built for small businesses that want to make a big impact. Internet built for families, smartphones, video games, tablets, voice assistants, nanny cams, robot vacuums, anything that you can think of that's all online and all at the same time. My friends, it is time for an internet built for the most hopeful of all things, and that is the future. Because whatever the future holds, Lumos makes it faster. Lumos Internet, built for the future. See your future at lumosfiber.com/future.
At Atkins Law, we believe who you hire matters, but don't take our word for it. Hear it from our clients.
From the front desk to the paralegals answering my questions to the one I have in my back, I couldn't ask for a better team of professionals.
From our first phone call to meeting Joe in person, I knew I was going to be in good hands.
Holly has a great practice, and her various experiences brings tons of knowledge to each of her clients.
Remember, who you hire matters.
Visit hollyatkinslaw.com.
Texting enrolls you in recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Leaving for the gym so early?
I'm ready to go.
Since you started taking Nugenix Total T, you've been acting like when we met in our 20s.
I feel like myself again. Lower testosterone after turning 40 slowed me down. Nugenix Total T has been a game changer for me.
What is it about Nugenix Total T that's different?
It's a key ingredient called Tesnor. It boosts free and total testosterone to help you get back the drive and energy from your youth. Total T is backed by 5 clinical studies.
I've seen the huge difference it's made for you in the gym, at work, and in the bedroom.
I'm so glad I sent them a text for my complimentary bottle. Text TAP to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Nugenix is the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now, and we'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever. Absolutely free. Text TAP to 42424. That's TAP to 42424. Products and statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or illness.
My therapist had told me that I needed to go to AA meetings. I didn't want to go to AA, but I did, and it wasn't what I expected. It was friendly. I could feel the happiness.
Visit aacolumbia.org for more information and to find an AA meeting near you. Strengthening the lives of children and families is a passion. Turn that passion into results as a child welfare case manager. Learn more at dss.sc.gov. This message is sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Social Services.
It's the Love Chevy High School Scoreboard Show
with Justin Hall and Elijah Campbell on 107.5 The Game.
Welcome back into the Love Chevy High School Scoreboard Show on The Game. Justin Hall, Elijah Campbell, Ed Bird with you on a Friday night. Good to sit down with Chad Leapart earlier this week. I know Elijah wasn't here for that. I think it was before his wake-up time.
It is, yes. Afternoon radio has turned me into more of a night owl than I previously was, right?
Which you already were one, probably.
I already was. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I am one of those. I will stay up all hours of the night. I will sleep in until the last possible second in the mornings, and it does not make for fantastic productivity at times. Yeah. But, that's a hard habit for me to break.
I can finally say this as I look to Ed behind the glass and just say, That'll change, young man. All right, so trust me. Actually, the late nights won't. You just won't be alone. And you won't just be watching TV.
Crying children.
And sometimes not even crying, just there.
Just existing.
Just existing.
The anxiety of their existence.
So good to hear from Chad Leapart again. Great to sit down with him. We got a great conversation with Coach Nick Pelham of White Knoll coming up. You want to hang tight and wait for that one. It's great. But we're here with you until 11 o'clock tonight, 803-404-6100, where you can get us on the Love Chevy phone lines. I want to get into a couple of these games, Elijah, before we hit the undefeated club here in a little bit. This Hammond-Ben Lippen game, I don't foresee, spoiler, I'm picking Hammond, because I don't see Ben Lippen really having a shot here.
It would be foolish to pick against Hammond. I have learned that very quickly being in this state for a couple of years now, that one simply does not just pick against Hammond if they wish to be correct.
Right. They've won 5 straight games against the Falcons of Ben Lippen, and they're 24-6 all-time against that team. Ben Lippen's last win came in 2016. Hammond is also sitting on an 18-game winning streak that dates back, obviously, to last year. Decent team. Their quarterback, Andrew Turner, how about this one? He's completing 71% of his passes for over 1,700 yards, 23 touchdowns, and interception.
A 23-to-1 touchdown-interception ratio.
That's A.J. Brand level.
Get it done. Yeah, that's going to get it done a lot of times. I think Marcus Mariota won a Heisman with that very similar ratio line.
Something like that. It was something crazy.
Cartoonish.
If you are Ben Lippen and you're looking for a way to do something here, it's got to be defensively. Hammond is averaging 429 yards per game on offense. Eric Kimry, who? Just kidding.
You said it.
429 yards per game on offense.
Justin B. Hall on Twitter.
Well, the offensive coordinator of the Hammond Skyhawks, at my last check, might be somebody y'all know. Any guesses? G.A. Mangus. All right, so...
What?
Yep. At last check, I could be wrong. Google.
Interesting.
In the words of Coach Sig, Google it. He said Google me, but
Google me.
it's fine.
I win.
He does. Kellen George is the leading Ben Lippen tackle for loss guy with 22 tackles for loss, and he's second in sacks with 8.5 on the year.
Holy Kyle Kennard, Batman.
But Drake Porter, well done. But Drake Porter leads the way in overall tackles for the Falcons. He has 102 tackles this year. They've played 7 games. Quick math, 14.5 tackles per game. So if you are Ben Lippen, you have to establish something at the line of scrimmage and try to slow this Skyhawk offense down. If you can do that, again, muddy it up, keep it around 20, 24, might have a shot here.
That puts you within arm's length.
We'll see.
If we had to quantify arm's length in a football sense, would you say that's 2 scores? That's arm's length, maybe?
Arm's length, because you're within reach. I would say that, because you can get your way back into a ball game in a 2-score game. You can. A 2-score game is, I say simple. I'm behind a microphone. You can score and then have a big play defensively, not even a turnover, just a 3 and out, maybe a tackle for loss here, and then you can flip field position very quickly, and boom, you're a drive away from being right back in the ball game.
Oh yeah, well so, you're a breakaway. I would say if you're in arm's length of a team,
14, but it can't be more than 14.
Realm of possibility type stuff, not like, oh my God, you got to score 21 unanswered points.
Even 15 might be a bit of a stretch for me, because that involves a 2-point conversion somewhere in there, and
yeah, the likelihood certainly diminishes a little bit if you have to convert at least 1 2-point conversion, let alone 2. So 16 could feel a little maybe out of arm's reach.
Yeah, if you're Oklahoma, arm's reach ends at like 6 points. So
a field goal deficit will put you.
Field goal deficit
is the length. Like their arm's reach is Tyrannosaurus Rex length, right?
And I have a big head and little arms.
Yeah,
yes.
And if you have an offense like, I don't know, Irmo, then,
which is better than Oklahoma's.
Yeah, your arm's length is like Victor Wembanyama, right?
Well done.
You can reach across the room. You can be down 21 points, and you still ain't out of it.
That's an NBA reference, by the way.
Yeah, if you have
the league,
Google him.
The league. Lower Richland is at South Florence. Lower Richland's playing their last game of the year. They're 5-4. They're playing their 10th game tonight, and then they're done.
We will wrap up a regular season tonight. Regular season will be wrapped up tonight.
It's the first meeting between these two teams since 2007. I was in middle school.
Man, wow, yeah, you and me both. This is pre-our high school days.
South Florence leads the all-time series 5-1. Lower Richland's a half a game ahead of Darlington for third place in Region 5 4A. And their Christian Wilson had 3 touchdowns in last week's win over Lakewood. By the way, South Florence has 2 commits, one to South Carolina, one to Clemson. Amari Adams is committed to Clemson. Jaden Sellers, heard of him, and his brother.
Popular last name around these parts.
For various reasons. Committed to South Carolina. The younger Sellers, Jaden, has over 1,000 all-purpose yards in 8 games and 12 touchdowns. How about this? How about this defensive effort for the Clemson commit, though? Adams has 36 tackles, 7 of them for loss, and 2 sacks in 8 games.
And I can imagine he is commanding a multitude of double teams.
Sure.
That's a kid that is keeping every offensive coordinator that they play awake at night in sheer terror.
Oh, I'm sure.
Honestly, to have Sellers on one side of the ball and to have Adams on the other, that's one of the reasons why I was so surprised they were off to a slow start to start the year. They did start kind of underwhelmingly for the first couple weeks of the year, but now they've kind of flipped that switch and they're just kicking a lot of tail. And some of these games haven't been remotely close, man. It's getting like video game type stuff. With some of the dominance that they've had in the last few weeks. They're looking like the team that buzzsawed their way to the state title game last year.
Oh, yeah, no question. Strom Thurmond is at Saluda. This is undefeated club implications.
Game of the week.
How about this? Strom Thurmond last year beat Saluda 48-3. 48-3. That's not arm's length.
No. Oh, that is a village of arm's length.
That is what we call a splattering. And they lead the all-time series 43-14. So they
historically have been taking part in splatterings. Yeah.
And Strom Thurmond's head coach Andrew Webb was an assistant on the Saluda State Championship team back in 2020. By the way, these teams are in a 3-way tie with another team in their region named Batesburg-Leesville.
Speaking of that very same undefeated club.
Right. But
3-way collision course.
All that said,
for region titles.
You got to take Saluda in that one, right? Don't you have to?
See,
Strom Thurmond?
Yeah, this is, history books be damned, man. This is one of those things. If you're Saluda, you're winning all your games up to this point. This is where the rubber meets the road, man. This is where you put your big boy pants on, you play big boy football. This is where you got to get up for it. I mean, this is one of those, these kids, I know they know because the coaches, I can almost guarantee you, have stressed to them how much of a terror Strom Thurmond has been to them historically.
Right.
You just mentioned a coaching staff, Coach Webb, who played, who's coaching on the last state championship team. Guys on this staff very familiar with the history of this series. They know. The players know. This is one where you can't get in your own head,
right?
But you have to look at this game as not just like a rivalry game or a game that's on the slate every year. This is one you got to go out there and give an effort. Give a championship type effort, and that way you can prove to not just everybody in the state, prove to yourself you have what it takes to win state at that classification.
Here's a quick thing for you. I'm looking at this matters for this game. Someone's getting eliminated in this game because, not necessarily. Let me back that up. Someone's road gets a lot harder after this game. Tonight, in this region, this is Region 2-2A. The three teams tied for the leader, Batesburg-Leesville, Strom Thurmond, and Saluda. Batesburg-Leesville plays Pillion tonight in their final home game of the season for Batesburg-Leesville because they're on the road the next 2 weeks.
Senior night. Wow, we're at that part of the year, man.
Yeah, we're already at senior night.
Good Lord, this has just flown by.
Next week, the Panthers of Batesburg-Leesville go to Saluda. Okay. And then in the last week of the season, they go to Strom Thurmond.
I mean, this is how we want it, right? Like
that's how you want
it. The last 2 weeks of the season involving the 3 teams that are tied for first, and Strom Thurmond not undefeated like the other 2 are, but historically is the powerhouse.
Right.
Historically is the team that probably has the best track record. I mean, Batesburg-Leesville before the last decade, I know, has been historically really good, but. No, this is what you want, is for all these games to happen the last 2 weeks of the season, 3 weeks of the season, really.
And if we look back to Batesburg-Leesville's season, because this is what they're set up with, they beat Wagner-Sally on the road week 1, 50-0. They edge Abbeville at Abbeville 37-35.
Edged.
That's amazing. 21-7 over Lower Richland. Calhoun County, they beat them 60-0. They beat Mid-Carolina 48-0. They beat 96 42-14, and they beat American Leadership Academy 45-0.
That's a lot of ass kickings.
So they have played in 2 games that you could put within shouting distance of each other. A 2-point win at Abbeville, and the following week a 14-point hard-fought win over the Diamond Hornets of Lower Richland. Outside of that,
smooth sailing.
Only
one-score game though to this point,
and
so
it was
played. This is what, so they have 8 games down.
8 games, 7 games down.
7 games down, and they have 6 multi-score wins. Only one-score result.
Which tells me that this Saluda-Strom-Thurmond game is going to give me a good idea of what Batesburg-Leesville's facing over the next 2 weeks. Because let's not forget, Saluda is 6-0. Saluda's undefeated.
2 teams in the club there.
Strom-Thurmond's got 1 loss. Loss.
One of the best, especially at the 2A level, man. This might be the best trio of teams that you have at the top of of any 2A region. This is these next 3 weeks, man. This is a region. Watch, I know we talked about the Region of Doom trademark.
Yes, trademark TM.
We talk about the one with Midland Valley, Gilbert, Airport, North Augusta.
Very good region,
which is a very good region in itself. Gray Collegiate made it significantly. Gray Collegiate made it significantly tougher. Yeah. But this one right here may not get as much run because it's a 2A region. But in terms of parity, competitiveness, in the likelihood that we get 3 straight weeks of classic games with region implications, this could be the region of fun. Trademark.
Ooh, look at that. Region of fun.
Region of fun.
By the way, well, you know what? We'll come back and we'll look at Saluda's schedule as well, and we'll look at Strom-Thurmond's because this might be the storyline of the next couple of weeks here. So this is a local region. This is a local region. This is a Midlands region. So we'll look at their schedule. We'll look at the undefeated club. We'll look at Mr. Football finalists that have been announced, and we'll give you a little history lesson about the award that is Mr. Football. We'll do all of that, plus your calls and more breakdowns of games that have officially started on the Love Chevy High School Scoreboard Show on the game.
Hey guys, Jay Phillips and Grayson Grinder here for our friends at Integrated Media. Grayson, now that you and the family have settled into life after years in the bigs, I hear you've added to what Integrated Media had already done around the house. Tell us what makes your system so much fun to use.
Yeah, Jay, Integrated Media has taken care of us from day one. Everything they do looks fantastic, everything they do sounds fantastic, and everything runs seamlessly when it comes to our smart home. In today's day and age of streaming everything, having a strong Wi-Fi connection throughout the house is critical, and Integrated Media is the best in the business at setting you and your family up with everything you could ever need.
Now, I don't know about you, but having an outdoor system that looks and sounds like the indoors is better than I could have imagined.
Yeah, one of the perks of living in the Midlands of South Carolina is enjoying time outdoors virtually year-round. From weatherproof mounted televisions to outdoor speaker systems, Integrated Media is the standard when it comes to outdoor entertainment. They're the only people I would ever recommend when it comes to outfitting your smart home indoors or out.
Work with the best in the business, and that's our friends at Integrated Media. Grayson and I can't recommend them highly enough. See their work on Facebook and Instagram, then call them up at 803-948-8327 and get Integrated Media into your home today.
Hey, Columbia, Scott here with Traditions Fine Jewelers, telling you about the diamond buying difference when you purchase a diamond from us. No matter if you're looking at mined diamonds or lab-grown diamonds, at Traditions Fine Jewelers, we have a huge selection of both, and which you choose is up to you, but either way, you always get trade-in value of the diamond solitaire you purchase. When you spend over $1,500, you'll get a limited lifetime warranty when you get your ring checked every 6 months. Traditions has an in-house jeweler with over 30 years experience to take care of your every need. Ring sizing, stone setting, or if you just want to come by and get your ring cleaned. At Traditions Fine Jewelers, we have hundreds of mountings to see, touch, and feel, and to try on, or we can special order or custom create the perfect engagement ring for you. Traditions Fine Jewelers, 5134 Sunset in Lexington, or in the Village at Sandhills. Traditions Fine Jewelers, where the Midlands get engaged.
This year, Roy and Dana Finley are shaking things up at AAA Heating and Air. For the next 12 months, they're telling their customers no. Get a new system purchase with no payments and no interest for an entire year. You heard that right. Purchase a new system now and make no payments for a full 12 months. So do what I did. Call AAA Heating and Air for your free estimate and tell them Jay Phillips sent you.
AAA Air when you need us. AAA Heating and Air.
Hey Gamecocks, Ben Cato of Cato's Power Equipment. Wanted to take a quick second to remind you that our annual Black Friday sale is right around the corner. We've already got dozens of more at closeout pricing, like Toro Grandstands and Gravely Pro Turns starting at $76.99. But November 18th through November 29th, every more on our lot will be marked down hundreds to thousands of dollars, with special pricing available on most steel equipment. Mark your calendar. This sale only comes once a year. Come see us at Cato's Power Equipment.
It's the Love Chevy High School Scoreboard Show
with Justin Hall and Elijah Campbell on 107.5 The Game.
Welcome back into the Love Chevy High School Scoreboard Show on The Game. Love that. Love the Commodores. Justin Hall, Elijah Campbell, Ed Bird. Can you name a Commodore not Lionel Richie? Best of luck to you.
Yes, Jay Cutler.
Fair enough. Pavia.
Jay Cutler, who has been in the news for all the right reasons.
All the right reasons. Yes. All the right reasons. So before the break, we were looking at Saluda, Strom Thurmond, Batesburg, Leesville. Because we have 3 teams tied for the region lead in Region 2 2A. And we'll get more into that region as the night goes on. Games have started, by the way. It is 7:34 p.m. on the East Coast. If you're listening on the West Coast, kudos. We're glad you're here.
For listening on the West Coast.
If you're listening in any time zone, really. Congratulations. Thank you.
Listening on the West Coast, man, I'm thrilled to hear that you are a fan of South Carolina high school football.
Maybe there's some distant connection or something, but we're glad you're here. Games have started. That's the point I'm making. Including a game that I didn't mention off the top because it's not a Midlands game, but it's a good one. And that is in the upstate. Gaffney, undefeated, hosting Dorman on the reservation for homecoming. And Gaffney only plays in weird football games. So looking forward to seeing what comes out of Gaffney tonight.
Freaky stuff only.
Gaffney sports history or Gaffney football history is fantastic. A great follow on Twitter if you're, or formerly Twitter, now X. Well, however you word it, I don't care.
It's Twitter.
There you go. Georgetown leads Aner 7-0 in the first quarter. There's your first score update. If you had it as if you had the first score I give you to be Georgetown and Aner, ding ding, you win the prize. I don't know what that's going to be, but you win it.
Maybe a Patrick Ewing signed jersey.
There you go. Myrtle Beach.
Georgetown legend.
Well done. Myrtle Beach leads Carolina Forest 10-7. There you go. There's that.
Okay.
So that's a 7-play, 50-yard drive for Myrtle Beach, the Seahawks of Myrtle Beach. And then, of course, we've got, let's see here, that's all of them as the games have just started. Oh, and quick breaking news, Davis Warren is going to start for Michigan against Michigan State tomorrow. Does it matter?
For an offense that will score like 14 points.
It doesn't matter.
It might Michigan's are playing Michigan State. Might. That's an emphasis because I kind of like Michigan State. Don't tell many people, but I kind of like Michigan State.
I did when Mark D'Antonio was the head coach. Gamecock connection. Played here. So also, yeah, he was a DB. Louisville is at Boston College right now. The Fighting Matt Ryans, Falcons legend, Falcons Ring of Honor.
That's
Falcons
right.
play the Buccaneers this weekend. Get excited. That's 2 4 and 3 teams on the telly there. And then, of course, Game 1 of the World Series is getting started here soon. West Florence is at Westwood tonight. It is senior night at Westwood. They're in all red with white caps, so should be a great uniform game there.
Oh, I love that, yes.
Another score, thanks to Chris for hitting me on the Twitters here. Barnwell leads Edisto 6-0, 9:34 left to go in the first quarter of play. We got a long way to go. A lot of action still to come. And Louisville leads Great Falls 6-0. Look at these scores already rolling in. You got to love it. We're looking at Saluda, Strom Thurmond, and Batesburg Leesville. So let's look at Saluda's schedule real quick.
The region of fun.
The region of fun, TM. They beat Crescent 20-6. Then they dispatch of Ridge Spring Minetta, the hyphenateds, 41-0. The Cyclones of Chester took them to the brink, 16-12. Then Southside Christian did the same thing, 19-14. Pillion on the road, they beat them 50-0. 96 on the road, they beat them 33-7. They end with Strom Thurmond, Batesburg Leesville, and American Leadership all at home.
Oh.
All at home.
Advantageous scheduling, man.
Advantageous scheduling. And again, if you get through Strom Thurmond and you can find your way against Batesburg Leesville next week, you got yourself a region crown. Strom Thurmond this season, this region's crazy. How about this for Strom Thurmond? They beat McCormick on the road by 40. They beat Silver Bluff by 21. So 2-score games. They beat Emerald. This is not in order. They beat Emerald by 12. They beat American Leadership by 53. And they beat Pillion by 49. Their one loss on the year was at home to North Augusta, a 4A football team that's leading their region, and they lost 14-7.
Lost that tough one-score game against a really good North Augusta team.
It's a really good North Augusta team. By the way, they finished with Saluda on the road, then 96, and then they host Batesburg-Leesville in the final week of the season, as we talked about. There are opportunities here in this region to make something happen and to make something happen fast if you're any one of these three teams, and it starts tonight. It starts tonight for these teams. How about this? Saluda's JT Lott and Strom Thurmond's Jay Sewell and Josh Merriweather were all three of them picked for the Touchstone Energy Cooperatives Bowl this week. That's an all-star bowl, one of the many.
Who said bowl games don't matter anymore?
You know, the adults in the room said the bowl games didn't matter. This is a pet peeve of mine. The adults said the bowl games didn't matter, and then when the kids said, okay, they don't, cool, then everybody got mad that the kids were not playing in the bowl games.
Right.
That just, oh, gosh.
Kids are going to do what the adults tell them, man.
Good kids will. Good kids will, as long as the adults are telling them good things to do. And by the way, if you're on Twitter, as I am, and this is how you keep up with scores, you might want to follow Saluda Football on Twitter. Because
we'll be locked in on that one tonight, man.
Locked in on it and currently searching desperately for a YouTube stream for that one. But we shall see. Do we want to go? So this is what we call on-the-air decision-making. Do we want to do Undefeated Club or do we want to do Mr. Football?
Let's do Mr. Football, and we'll end the hour with the Undefeated Club.
See, that's just playing it by ear and just deciding on the fly. So, Mr. Football announced finalists. The announcement of finalists for Mr. Football happened earlier this week.
Mr. Football himself, the man. We're not going to disclose his first name.
He's like Mr. Met. Football. He's just a football with arms.
Mr. is actually his government name.
It's actually on his license. There are 5 finalists. There are 5 finalists for the award. Let's start at the top, literally the top of the state, with Malik Clark, wide receiver of Rock Hill. See what I did? Rock Hill is like South Carolina's Canada. Not really. Malik Clark is a wide receiver from Rock Hill.
Hell of a comparison.
In every way in that it's the North. Clark has 53 catches for 757 yards and 8 touchdowns. Not gaudy numbers. But for his career, he's got 1,900 yards with 25 total touchdowns. He's the 3rd best prospect in South Carolina this season, and he is committed to the Gamecocks, and he committed on October 5th. Next, Marquise Henderson, running back from BHP, Belton Honeypath. He's carried the ball 78 times for over 1,000 yards and 13 touchdowns this season, and he's caught 15 passes for 191 yards and a touchdown. For his career, more than 5,500 yards rushing and 82 total touchdowns.
Hell of a career, young man.
He is ranked as the 4th best prospect in the state for 2024, and he is committed to Clemson, and he committed to them last December, so he is solidly going to Tiger Town. Then we've got Cedric Surratt from Gaffney. We're watching that game, Gaffney and Dorman right now. The anchor of that offensive line. He's the 9th best prospect for 2025 in the state. He committed to the Gamecocks on June 14th. Appears to be solidly coming to South Carolina. And now 2 quarterbacks. So wide receiver, running back, offensive lineman, and 2 quarterbacks. No defensive players this year. Will Wilson, quarterback from Richland Northeast. He has missed time this year. And he's thrown for 1,475 yards, rushed for 700, and has more than 30 touchdowns. And he missed like 2 or 3 games. For his career, 9,629 yards, 6,100 through the air, 3,500 on the ground. How many touchdowns does he have in his career? He's got 30 this year.
So, oh, wow. Okay.
He's got 30 this year. How many does he have in his career?
115.
Did you look at my paper?
I did not.
It's 115.
No way.
It's 115. I thought he looked at my paper.
I straight up was guessing. I was like, he's got to be in the triple digits.
Wow.
I didn't do like math in my head. It's more like vibes math. So it's like a quick, I'm just going to glue some numbers together mentally, and I want to see if I can get this thing really close. Oh, I'm riding a high right now, baby.
Let me know.
The heat checks I'm about to start taking during the show are about to get biblical.
Lottery numbers here in
my
a second.
God.
He is ranked as the 18th best prospect in South Carolina for 2025. These are all, by the way, according to 247 Sports. He committed to NC State on June 24th, 2023. He is solidly for the Wolfpack, and he'll be playing quarterback for whomever the head coach is there next season. Because I doubt it's Dave Doran. By the way, really quickly, just want to mention that ECU has already fired Mike Houston. North Carolina is going to part ways with Mac Brown at the end of the year. Wake Forest could move on from Dave Clawson. and NC State can move on from Dave Dorn. And the only person's job who is secure at an NC football school is Duke. Manny Diaz.
Manny Diaz does have the opportunity to do the funniest thing ever, and that's go to Miami and give them their first loss after how they fired him.
I wouldn't be opposed to it.
Because that's who they play next week.
I wouldn't be opposed to it. Final finalist for Mr. Football. There you go. Say that. Cutter Woods. You know him, quarterback from Westside. He's thrown for more than 1,700 yards and 19 touchdowns in 6 games this season. He assisted in helping Westside to a state championship last year. He's ranked as the 15th best player in the state for 2025, according to 24/7. He committed to South Carolina on June the 24th. So three South Carolina commits, 1 Clemson commit, and 1 NC State commit. By the way, if either Will Wilson or Cutter Woods win the Mr. Football Award, it'll be the first time a quarterback has won since 2019. That was Luke Doty.
Oh, wow.
If Malik Clark wins, he will be the first wide receiver to have won the award since Trammell Terry in 2012 played at Goose Creek and went to Georgia. Shedrick Surratt, an offensive lineman won it last year. Josiah Thompson did. Running back. You ready for this one?
Yes.
It would be the first running back if it is Marquise Henderson from Belton Honeypath. He will be the first running back to win the award of Mr. Football since 2015. A running back out of Spartanburg High School named Tavian Feaster won the award. He went on to play at Clemson, and that was back-to-back running back years, by the way. 2014, Dutch Fork's Matthew Colburn won Mr. Football that year. He went on to play at Wake Forest and run the mesh.
The slow mesh. The slowest of mesh. My goodness, sometimes that thing is sitting there
for a very long time.
It is something to watch. It is very hard to pull off.
And someone's yelling at their TV whenever it happens, stop running that RPO. Oh, we got more of the Love Chevy High School Scoreboard Show coming up. We'll look at the undefeated club next right here on The Game.
Get ready to smile because Herndon Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy dealer, is offering an amazing deal right now. Get up to $20,000 off new Silverados. Yes, you heard that right. Up to $20,000 off. Don't wait. Head over to HerndonChevy.com today and drive home in the truck of your dreams. Chevy, together let's drive.
Herndon Chevrolet, Herndon makes you wanna smile.
Call 803-510-5447 for complete details.
Hey guys, it's Jay Phillips for AAA Heating and Air. You know, for many years, AAA has been your year-round ally against changing weather across the Midlands, whether it's the hot summers or those cool winters. Let their expert team make sure that your home is always an oasis of comfort. And now, Roy and Dana Finley have a spectacular offer to make it even better for you and your family for years to come. How about 12 months, no payments or interest in 2024, plus guaranteed financing, a $1,500 system buyback rebate, and their 15-year parts and labor guarantee that speaks volumes of the trust in their service and in their products. AAA has done things at my house that make my family nice and comfortable all year long. They can do it for you too. Get a free quote today. Call AAAtoday.com. That's call AAAtoday.com or give them a shout at 803-677-1500. Tell them Jay Phillips sent you to AAA Heating and Air.
AAA Air when you need us. AAA Heating and Air.
Cato's Power Equipment is thrilled to have a one-of-a-kind offering in our fleet of rental equipment. New for this fall, we have a Gravely 52-inch stand-on battery-powered zero-turn available for rental starting at $175 a day. This mower will cut for 8 hours on a single charge and has no messy belts, pulleys, or other service parts to cause interruptions to your workday. Come experience what dozens of other grass cutters have and rent, demo, or purchase one of our amazing Gravely EV sit-down or stand-up mowers. Available right now at Cato's Power Equipment.
Trans-Siberian Orchestra, the rock holiday tradition returns. December 12th, Colonial Life Arena, Columbia. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Bring the whole family to the all-new show. Soaring guitars, dazzling lasers, and enough pyro to keep you warm all season. Don't miss Trans-Siberian Orchestra, presented by Live Nation.
10 years ago, who could have predicted what the internet would bring? Streaming videos, voice assistants, smartphones, smart homes, work from home. But here we are, wondering what the next 10 years will bring. Whatever it brings, Lumos 100% fiber optic internet is ready with incredible speeds and reliability. So you can do more and be more than you ever thought possible on the internet built for the future. Plans start at $50 per month. Learn more at lumosfiber.com/next.
It's the Love Chevy High School Scoreboard Show
with Justin Hall and Elijah Campbell on 107.5 The Game. Powered by Integrated Media, The Game TV.
Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass, a true reflection of quality.
The Game TV.
Welcome back into the Love Chevy High School Scoreboard Show on The Game. Justin Hall, Elijah Campbell, Ed Bird with you as we wrap up hour number 1 of 4 on the program. By the way, we got a score update from that Hammond-Ben Lippen game. Thanks to our buddy Joe on Twitter, Joe Pollock. Hammond takes their opening drive 50 yards, and it ends with an Andrew Turner quarterback 1-yard run for a touchdown. So Hammond leads the Falcons of Ben Lippen 7-0 in the first quarter. We also have a couple of 14-0 scores. Got an upset alert here. Nation Ford is up on Clover right now. Again, it's early. It's early. But we could see an upset there maybe. Maybe. I mean, enough to where we need to start keeping up with it. I mean, I'm okay to keep up with it. I just. By the way, before it gets started, I got to ask your World Series prediction. Whomst and how many games?
We will go Dodgers in 6, but they lose tonight.
Ah, look at you going the extra mile.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
the
go
Yankees win tonight.
I'm gonna go
Dodgers
Yanks. I'm gonna go Yanks in 7. Ooh. Because I don't see the Yankees as the evil empire anymore. I see the Dodgers as the evil empire.
They're both evil to me.
Yeah. Well, you're right.
This is two evil empires combining to torture everybody, but then have to fight for who gets to be the evilest. Yeah. Actually, the winner of this series needs to officially hold the title.
I think they're playing for that title. I think they're playing for it.
Yeah, the piece of metal that Rob Manfred gives out every year. This is the real prize.
I just need the Dodgers' only World Series in the last 30 years to still be the Disney series. They had Mickey Mouse one in 2020. That's my goal, and that's always my goal. We do have, as we mentioned off the top, 15. Agreed. 15. The Braves should have won it. 15 undefeated regular season. Undefeated teams left here as we enter in the final 3 weeks of the season. So there are only 15 left. So we don't have too much to read through. Elijah didn't have a long time. You drank your water beforehand, but this isn't going to take you very long. Should we visit? Ed Bird's waiting.
Yes.
Ed Bird's waiting to punt some people out of the club tonight. I just don't know if it's going to happen, but we do have 15 teams who are residing there currently.
That's right. And here are the teams still in the undefeated club. 5A, we still have a good group here, a good chunk, and that starts with Gaffney. They take on Dorman tonight. If there's any team that is on Ed Bird watch, meaning you are in the undefeated club and you're partying, you're having fun, the Gatorade's flowing, you got the orange Gatorade there, which is the premium, the best of the best of the best, sir. And then you see Ed Bird walking through like he's the Grim Reaper, then you better feel like you're in trouble. Ed Bird's got his eyes on Gaffney tonight. Dorman can take them out. We'll see how that one goes, especially considering Gaffney just can't play a normal football game. Northwestern, they're on a bye this week. Irmo, still in the club. They're on a bye this week. Shocker, Dutch Fork, still in the club. They are still ITC. I'm not stunned to see the Silver Foxes still be ITC. Sumter, they're in the club as well. But they're on a bye, so they'll be in it next week too. Somerville, after a thrilling game against Ashley Ridge last week, still in the club. They take on West Ashley at home tonight. In 4A, we are down to 2 undefeated teams, starting with Westside. They're at Lawrence, the Fighting Captain Dave Adair's, if you will.
Yes.
The Fighting Captain Dave Adair's. I'm afraid, Dave, heavy underdogs. Al Michaels asked me once, in 1980 if I believed in miracles. I said yes, but you know what? Let's not get crazy. Seneca's taking on Pickens tonight at home. And then in 3A, where last week we had 3 teams in 3A still yet to take an L, Mountain View beat Woodruff, who was previously undefeated. So that kicked them out. And then I can't remember who the other team was right now off the top of my head, but I already eliminated them from the list. They're already kicked out of the club. We have a short-term memory here in this bad boy. But only one 3A team left in the club. That is Mountain View Prep. In 2A, Saluda in the game of the night tonight against Strom Thurman. Outside of Gaffney, I would say Saluda has the best chance of getting eliminated from the club and getting a visit from one, Ed Bird tonight. Batesburg, Leesville in the same region, Region 2 2A, the region of fun as we have dubbed it tonight. They're taking on Pillion. I like their chances against Pillion. There are no 1A SCHSL undefeated teams left. And in Skis of 4A, we're down to 1. That's Hammond. They're playing Ben Lippen tonight, already having a lead. There are no Skis of 3A teams undefeated left. We have one more in Skis of 2A. That's the PD Academy. They take on 6-2 Bethesda Academy tonight. Maybe a shakeup there? I don't know. All I know is if PD Academy wants to stay in the club, they don't want any part of Ed Bird. Skis of 1A. Down to 1. That's Dorchester Academy. They'll be taking on 5-3 Colleton Prep. Then we get into the 8-man regions. Skiza 8-man region 1. Only one undefeated team left. That is Richard Wynn Academy. Yes, you heard me right. Richard Wynn Academy. They don't call them Richard Lou's Academy because that has not happened once this season. They are at 5-2 Lawrence Academy. Can they become Richard Lou's Academy tonight? We shall see. There are no undefeated teams in Skiza 8-man Region 2. So all in all, the South Carolina Undefeated Club has only 15 members remaining.
Okay, buy or sell. That number's 10 by the end of next week.
By the end of next week?
By the end of next week.
Buy.
You'll buy that?
I'll buy that. I like that. I feel pretty good. I can see some weirdness starting to happen. I mean, shoot, we can get down to 13. I would say by tonight. Dorman's not going to be an easy task for Gaffney. I know Gaffney has done they wouldn't be friends of Smokey the Bear. That's what I'm saying, because they're playing with fire a lot.
Well done.
Right? And only you can prevent forest fires.
Especially in Gaffney.
But
that game is scoreless after the first quarter, by the way.
Yeah. So we're already a quarter into the game.
Yep.
Tie ball game. I think that low score is kind of maybe what Gaffney wants. That is a Gaffney football game right there. Just the way they play.
No question.
That style of play is pretty conducive to a lot of great finishes, some one-score games. And just by virtue of playing a lot of one-score games, you will eventually lose one of them. So we could see Gaffney get beat tonight. And if I have to pick one that's going to happen, I like Dorman to beat Gaffney.
I'm looking at Saluda.
Yeah.
I'm looking at Saluda and Strom Thurmond.
I will say, Strom Thurmond beating Saluda wouldn't surprise me a ton, but Saluda beating Strom Thurmond sends a loud message that they are for real.
Yes, I'd agree. Yes.
I think that's the best way that I can articulate that.
That's a good one. I think that's a very fair point. By the way, Spartanburg leads Burns 14-7 with 4:20 left in the first. Yeah, Burns doesn't play at home this year because of stadium construction. First quarter, South Florence is up 7-0 on Lower Richland. Aner and Georgetown locked in a good one. It's 13-12, Georgetown over Aner. That's still in the first quarter. That's what I love about Twitter. You're going to find stuff here. End of the first quarter, no score. Saluda has scored a touchdown. Extra point is good.
Okay.
Tigers lead the Rebels of Strom Thurmond. It's interesting the Strom Thurmond names of the Rebels. 7-0. Saluda leads Strom Thurmond. That's not going to bring that up again. So those are just a quick look at your scores from around the state. And we'll have an update from our buddy Joe Pollack on Twitter. Braden Mayer with a 55-yard run, followed by a 12-yard carry by Josh Cobbs. A Zach Matthew 40-yard field goal. It is 7-3. Hammond over Ben Lippen. So they pull within 4 there as that game is whittling its way down to the end of the first quarter. Looking here, Newberry leading in their ball game 14-8. Looks like Chris Deering is out at that one. Trying to see who.
The Chris Deering special game of the week.
Fox Creek, I believe, is who they're playing tonight. This looks like who Newberry's playing tonight. So they lead 14-8, 1:17 remaining in the first quarter. Actually, Fox Creek is playing Swansea. So I had to find out who that is there on the other side of the ball there from that game that Chris is at. So I'll find that out. Louisville leads 18-0 over Great Falls late in the first quarter.
18-0 already? Goodness gracious.
One of the best games of the night was going to be Marlboro County and Loris. That game has been canceled, forfeited. I'm trying to ascertain exactly how that happened, why that happened, and who forfeited to whom.
Efforting the information, if you will.
We'll find that out. Dorman leads. It's 3-0 going into the second quarter. We're back for hour 2 on the Love Chevy High School Scoreboard Show on the game.
I'm here with the mortgage guru, Jacob Crowder of First Palmetto Bank. Jacob, tell me more about this 4.99% 30-year fixed product you are offering in Richland County.
We have a community reinvestment product in the areas of Richland County.
Blythewood, Northeast, Southeast, and the I-20 corridor are areas that we're offering the 4.99% interest with a 5.075 APR on a 30-year fixed mortgage. We are underserving these areas, so the bank is offering 100% purchase loans at 4.99% on a 30-year fixed. No points, no mortgage insurance, no gimmicks, just lower payments.
4.99% is awesome. What's a payment look like?
Yes, Bill. A payment on $200,000 at that APR is $1,072 a month for 360 months. A payment on $300,000 is at $1,608. These estimates do not include taxes and insurance. These loans are only for primary residences, and the loan amounts are capped at $300,000. Call me today. My number is 803-719-1005, or you can email me at jcrowder@firstpalmetto.com.
All loans are subject to credit approval and property appraisal. First Palmetto Bank is a member of the FDIC and an equal housing lender. My NMLS number is 198432.
Hey Gamecocks, this is Ben Cato, third generation owner of Cato's Power Equipment. Our hearts go out to the millions affected by Hurricane Helene, and my team was honored to be a resource to those working tirelessly to help restore power and infrastructure to so many devastated communities. As a steel dealer, we are proud to offer our government and 501c3 organizations a 20% discount on steel chainsaws, blowers, and other necessary tools to help keep your work going. Come see us today at Cato's Power Equipment.
Get ready to smile because Herndon Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy dealer, is offering an amazing deal right now. Get up to $20,000 off new Silverados. Yes, you heard that right. Up to $20,000 off. Don't wait. Head over to HerndonChevy.com today and drive home in the truck of your dreams. Chevy, together let's drive.
Herndon Chevrolet, Herndon makes you wanna smile.
Call 803-510-5447 for complete details.
WNKT FM, Eastover, Columbia.
The home of the national champion Gamecocks women's basketball team. Congrats, y'all.
A Cumulus media station. It's the Love Chevy High School Scoreboard Show.
With Justin Hall and Elijah Campbell on 107.5. The Game.
Welcome back in. Hour number 2 of the Love Chevy High School Scoreboard Show on The Game. Justin Hall, Elijah Campbell, Ed Bird behind the glass, keeping us on track and making sure this thing stays on the air and we don't sound ridiculous as it does. We have a lot to get to in hour number 2 of the program, but we go first to the Love Chevy phone lines, 803-404-6100 if you want to join us on those. Our buddy Cale Wilson is out at what I believe could be the game of the night in the Midlands. Cale, tell us what's happening out there between Saluda and Strom Thurmond.
What's up, guys? We are about to start the second quarter here between the Tigers and the Rebels. I got here a few moments before kickoff. I actually walked into the stadium behind the team through the purple smoke, one of the coolest entrances I've ever seen in high school football. But regardless, 7-0 here, Saluda. On the second drive for the Tigers, Drew Arendt had made a amazing pass on the run to Josh Uller for 25 yards. That was downed at the 4-yard line of Strom Thurmond. That was capped off by a 4-yard touchdown rush by Braden Williams, the running back. I know you talked about him before the show started on the phone on the hour before. But also, very notable, Strom Thurmond returned the very next kickoff all the way down to the 42 of Saluda, and they only gained 3 yards after that on 3 plays. JT Lott was not going to let Cam Black for Strom Thurmond get anywhere on a 3rd down and 8. No gain on the play. Saluda now has the ball back on their own 13-yard line as we are setting up the second quarter.
Cale, we appreciate it, man. That's a good update.
Great stuff.
We'll keep calling us because we believe this could be our game of the night, game of the week in the Midlands, but we'll have to wait and see. We appreciate it.
Yep.
That's our buddy Cale Wilson out at Saluda and Strom Thurmond. It's going to be a good one.
7-0 Saluda already. Again, I think we have established that it would not be a shock or a surprise to anybody if Strom Thurmond wins the game.
Sure.
If Saluda wins the game, I think it just sends a stronger message to everybody in the state that Saluda is for real.
Right.
This legitimizes them in this win maybe more than it does Strom Thurmond.
I'd agree with that. And again, because of what the schedule sets up for over the last couple of weeks, I mean, we're in a 2-week push to the state playoffs at this point. So, yeah, you're setting yourself up. By the way, a couple of scores here. South Florence over Lower Richland, 7-0 second quarter. Camden trails Lancaster. Lancaster actually got a runner on second, and they were able to move him over on a ground out, and then a sac fly brought him in. So they lead 2-0.
Okay,
Lancaster
very
over
nice,
Camden.
very nice.
Again,
Try to get you better on the order here.
Should 7-0. We'll see how long they keep that starting pitcher, and as it begins to wear. Saluda, of course, as we mentioned, leads 7-0. That one's in the second quarter. Chester over Mid Carolina 12-0. The Cyclones taking care of business there. First quarter between 96 and American Leadership Academy. 96 has scored 28 points.
Oh.
And they lead 28-0. Newberry leads W.J. Keenan 14-8. So that's who Newberry's playing tonight. There you go, 14-8. Newberry over William Jefferson Keenan. And let's see, Heathwood Hall must have played yesterday. They beat Camden Military 48-0. And I do want to mention, too, there are some games that are taking place tomorrow as these teams still deal with scheduling issues from Hurricane Helene and everything that entailed. I'll leave it at that. Tomorrow, it's mainly one region. Aiken goes to Gray Collegiate. That's an 0-7 Aiken, by the way.
Ooh.
Gilbert
That could be ugly.
Gilbert goes to Airport. Gilbert coming off of a loss to South Aiken. Airport coming off of a loss as well, a couple of them. Airport 1-6 on the season. Brooklyn Casey goes to North Augusta. And then Blue Ridge goes to Daniel. And Travelers Rest hosts Berea. Hillcrest hosts Woodmont. Midland Valley goes to South Aiken. Greenville goes to T.L. Hanna. That one could get ugly. J.L. Mann goes to Malden. And Easley goes to Greenwood. Greenwood a very quiet 5-2, by the way. As we are 7.
Very quiet. Wow,
7 or 8 games in the year. And they're just sitting there with 2 losses. Just kind of hanging out.
Quality losses, too. Greenwood hadn't taken bad L's this year, I will say.
Quality, to say the least. North Augusta, by the way, just looking at this region, we're talking region games. So it's setting up for North Augusta or Gray Collegiate to win the region, right? That appears to be where we're heading there in that region. Well, guess who plays whom on the final night of the regular season?
Oh, give it to me.
Gray goes to North Augusta.
Region championship?
Region championship game happening there. We assume there's going to be a region championship game between Dutch Fork and Irmo.
Yep, same night.
Oh, boy.
That might be the best night of the show because we're going to be crowning region champs. We're going to be able to slide teams into playoff slots.
The playoff bracket will be set by the end of the night.
Mm-hmm.
I might have to do some homework on what exactly the FPI rankings are, or RPI, not FPI. RPI rankings are. It's all the same to me. We'll have
they
to
serve
work through
the same that.
Purpose.
They
serve the same
purpose.
So we'll have to figure out what exactly those are and deal with all that. And we actually might be recapping a Gamecock basketball game at that point. So who's
more than likely?
Who's to say?
Busy night. Goodness gracious.
I know. That's already 2 weeks away, and I'm already tired just thinking about it.
Dude, it makes my head hurt.
End of the first quarter between Hammond and Ben Lippen. Andrew Turner, the quarterback, with a 20-yard touchdown run. So how about that? Quarterback Andrew Turner has 2 touchdown runs tonight for a combined 21 yards. Hammond leads Ben Lippen 14-3 at the end of the first quarter. Into the first quarter at Edisto, Barnwell, the Warhorses, lead Edisto 14-0 in that one.
Accurately named, Barnwell, the Warhorses. They play like warhorses.
That's true.
Playing like it tonight, too. Goodness.
14-7 Spartanburg over Burns. The Braves of Socastee, at least some Braves are still playing, they lead Conway 7-0. A little bit into the second quarter there. And Saluda got the ball back from Strom Thurmond, but Strom Thurmond has just intercepted a pass. So Strom Thurmond's got the ball back in that one.
Can they be advantageous? Can they take advantage of the sudden change metric, or can they score well on the sudden change metric, which is something that Jay Phillips and I talked about yesterday for a little bit?
Yeah, I'm always fascinated by that metric because there are a couple of different ways that you can look at how you capitalize on those sudden changes, right? Mm-hmm. The Steve Spurrier method is to, I'm going to take a shot. And typically it worked. Here's looking at UA Sanders in the Outback Bowl. Literally, no one remembers that play because the play before it was Clowney decapitating a human being.
How could anybody have the mental capacity to process and retain that play after what Jadeveon Clowney did to that poor Michigan running back whose career was absolutely never the same?
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was the very next play. And I don't know if it was Connor Shaw who threw it or if it was Dylan Thompson because they were doing a 2-quarterback thing that day. It's like John Gruden called it like tag team wrestling.
Like tag team wrestling, man. Let me tell you what.
Spider 2Y banana, man.
2Y banana.
So I don't
My
know who threw it.
will never go down again.
But all I can see is Frank.
Stuck here at the top of my face.
All I can see is Frank Caliendo. So
it's a killer one.
It's great. So I can't remember who it was, but I believe it was A. Sanders' very next play. So that you could do that, or you could do what South Carolina's doing right now, and that's just try not to turn the ball over yourself. Either way,
lead preservation mode,
which started at 9:40 to go in the first quarter last week in Norman, Oklahoma. And I was totally fine with it. I'm like the only Gamecock person who's like, yeah, cool. Just hold on to the ball and don't lose.
Let your defense continue to put on this master class.
No one's scoring against you. It's fine. And the one touchdown was literally a busted coverage that was just obvious, very bad coverage. Anyway, the point is you have to take advantage of those quick change, those moments in the game where, because it can really seal your momentum or seal your fate. How you do that. For example, Lugoff Elgin had an interception that was returned for a touchdown over Spring Valley, and it's a jump ball interception on the far sideline. Just an easy play. It's a pick six, gets called for block in the back, it's back to the 34. If you're Lugoff Elgin, you're early in the game, you can establish yourself here and take care of business within the first quarter or so, and you've got yourself a ball game in the bag just after that. Instead, what do? You throw an interception. Because that's what happened. The quick change metric does matter almost as much. I'm going to say almost as much as the middle eight metric.
Ooh, I do like the middle eight.
The middle eight metric is so important. And I know that because I had to watch my New York Jets deal with Tom Brady and the New England Patriots doing the 8-minute thing for a really long time. Where you'd be in the ball game, and then suddenly after the last four and the first four of the second half, you're down by 21. You're like, where'd it go?
Because that's when you can manipulate possessions.
Yes.
Right? That is when you can use, especially if you didn't get the ball first, if you kicked off, that is when you can use the possession turnover against another team's will and break them.
Absolutely. You absolutely
did that
can.
for a long time, man. Yeah, they sounded like John Gruden.
You
right
did
there.
say
Goodness
that,
gracious.
yeah.
Oh, God, that wasn't even intentional. They've been doing that for a long time, man.
Can you believe that, Tarico? Let's go to the Love Chevy phone lines, 803-404-6100. Neither of them are on that network anymore. That's crazy. Roger joins us on the Love Chevy phone lines. Roger, your fighting HKTs have a shot tonight, don't they?
Yeah, they do. I got 2-game score. Auburn Prep 14, back to Henry 14, 5 minutes left in the first half. Hancock Tyler 8, and Blackwood Hill 6.
8-6.
8-6. Nice job. Thank you, Roger. We appreciate it. I love that score. And, hey, listen, HKT and Blackville Hilda, both of them have an opportunity. Wow, that kind of, I've got to be careful with my cadence. They both have an opportunity to challenge Abbeville in that classification. Both of those teams do. And certainly for Roger's sake, he hopes it's HKT. He hopes it's Hunter Connor Tyler. So, again, scores are going to start rolling in because here's what's going to happen as we get later into the night. We might not know about region implications necessarily in terms of positioning and what that looks like, but the people who tweet at these games and cover these games do. And so we'll be able to color in those lines for you, if you will. Goal line stand for Newberry. They hold against William Jefferson Keenan. That's a turnover on downs on 4th and goal.
Massive.
Newberry will take over. They're up 14-8 in that ball game. Let's see here. I got a couple more that came across my screen, and they just disappeared. Lancaster has extended their lead 9-0 over Camden. York, Will Wilson's back.
Okay.
Will Wilson is back. York leads 14-7.
Oh, over Richland Northeast.
Over Richland Northeast. Now, again, just careful.
See, that would be the most surprising R&E loss, because their losses this year came when Will Wilson was not available, which leads me to, if I had a vote for Mr.
Most
Football,
valuable?
I would go Will Wilson maybe, just because of how much he means to that team.
Is it most valuable or is it best?
I think he might fit both. I think there's a really good chance he fits both.
Yeah, that's also the thing about doing cross-positional, which, by the way, there's no defensive position player on that finalist list. And we'll look at that finalist list later. I have the list dating back to 1995, and I'll read you some of the names on it. There's just if you follow high school football for any length of time, and certainly college football, you're gonna be like, wow, I can't remember that guy. Can't believe he won that award. So, yeah, you were going to get into all those a little bit later. Burns trails 14-7 against Spartanburg. That's gone to the end of the first quarter. The series that everyone hoped for has started. The World Series, Yankees and Dodgers. Woohoo. Yay.
On a less depressing note, because, yes, I am in the camp that is depressing news that the Dodgers and Yankees are playing in the World Series. Not a fan of that. No. But we do have a tie game right now between Abbeville and Dixie. Those teams tied at 7.
Now, I'm gonna jump you on that one. It's the second quarter. Abbeville is up 20-7.
Oh, Abbeville
happened
20.
fast.
That happened in the blink of an eye. I did, however, want to give, because I'm about to spew some information here that I did get from Twitter from Greg K. Deal. Greg says he took a picture of the crowd because it was pretty good, apparently, crowd on hand. This game is at Dixie, it looks like. Said big crowd in both stands here at Dixie for the game versus Abbeville. It's the first time since 2011 that the Abbeville County teams have met.
Silence. How does that happen?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. How the hell does that happen?
I don't know. But I will say, good for them. They have to play now because I think they're in the same region. But glad they're playing, and glad the fans, again, Abbeville's not a big county. It's not small, but it's certainly not big. Glad their two schools are getting to play tonight. Again, because that's what it's about. You're looking at high school football. It's about these communities.
Yes.
It's about these fan bases that most people who are pulling for these teams went to these schools. You want your teams to play each other, especially if you're in the same county. Speaking of teams in the same county, most of the teams in the region of Doom are in the same county. And because they're in the same county, they're going to be playing a lot. You got Dutch Fork, Irmo, Chapin, Lexington, River Bluff, and White Knoll. If you remember White Knoll, the Timberwolves went to the state championship last year, handed Dutch Fork a regular season loss, and then beat, let me get this right, beat Fort Dorchester and Sumter in the playoffs en route to a state championship game appearance where they fell to Dutch Fork. They're 4-4 this year, so they're 500. You got to get 2 more wins here. They're winless in the region of Doom. Earlier this week, I had a chance to sit down with Coach Nick Pelham of the White Knoll Timberwolves. That is a conversation you're going to want to stick around for, and you'll hear it after the break. More of the Love Chevy High School Scoreboard Show coming up on the game.
10 years ago, who could have predicted what the internet would bring? Streaming videos, voice assistants, smartphones, smart homes, work from home. But here we are, wondering what the next 10 years will bring. Whatever it brings, Lumos 100% fiber optic internet is ready with incredible speeds and reliability. So you can do more and be more than you ever thought possible on the internet built for the future. Plans start at $50 per month. Learn more at lumosfiber.com/next.
Fall is here, and with it comes all the traditional family outings like tailgating, mountain and beach adventures, and road trips to grandma's over the holidays. Wherever you go, go with great gas mileage, safety, technology, comfort, and style in a new Honda from Honda of Columbia. Right now, you'll get more for your trade than ever, and as always, you'll enjoy their no-hassle pricing, no-pressure buying experience. Honda of Columbia, your friendly family Honda dealer since 1978. Highway 378 at I-20.
Hey guys, Jay Phillips here for Integrated Media. You know they've been the Midland's leader in home theater for the past 2 decades for installation of amazing 4K televisions and surround sound systems to Wi-Fi that works everywhere. No one else compares to their customer service and quality. And now the guys at Integrated Media have expanded their brand to provide a state-of-the-art golf simulator experience next to their offices in Chapin. Pro Swing is what it's called. The golf simulators by Golf Zone have automatic tees. You don't have to bend over to set up your next shot. Amazing swing plate moving up to 24 different directions for a truly lifelike experience. The playing surface has simulated greenside and fairway bunkers, even 2 different cuts of rough to bring a real-life experience inside with 68 degrees of air conditioning every day. One golfer can play 18 holes in about an hour, 2 in 2, with selections of non-alcoholic drinks, domestic, and craft beer. It's fun for the entire family. To book a tee time or to get golf lesson packages, visit ProSwingColumbia.com or call 803-948-8327. Have a blast with Pro Swing and Integrated Media. Hey guys, it's Jay Phillips for AAA Heating and Air. You know, for many years, AAA has been your year-round ally against changing weather across the Midlands, whether it's the hot summers or those cool winters. Let their expert team make sure that your home is always an oasis of comfort. And now, Roy and Dana Finley have a spectacular offer to make it even better for you and your family for years to come. How about 12 months, no payments or interest in 2024, plus guaranteed financing, a $1,500 system buyback rebate, and their 15-year parts and labor guarantee that speaks volumes of the trust in their service and in their products. AAA has done things at my house that make my family nice and comfortable all year long. They can do it for you, too. Get a free quote today. Call AAAtoday.com. That's call AAAtoday.com or give them a shout at 803-677-1500. Tell them Jay Phillips sent you to AAA Heating and Air.
AAA Air when you need us. AAA Heating and Air.
It's the Love Chevy High School Scoreboard Show
with Justin Hall and Elijah Campbell on 107.5 The Game.
Welcome back into the Love Chevy High School Scoreboard Show right here on The Game TV, and on the app, wherever you're listening. Glad you're with us. Joined now by Coach Nick Pelham, the White Knoll Timberwolves on the show. Coach, obviously last year, we'll start with last year and kind of wrap it in, because I think the story is important here. You guys had one of the best years in the history of White Knoll last year. Good defense, great defense, and opportunistic scoring. You guys went to that state championship. We won't rehash it, because I know coaches, you're still thinking about that game, aren't you?
Every day.
Every day still thinking about that game. And now we move into this year. You guys are in what we call the region of doom. Coach Chad Leapart called it the region of death. I choose doom because I don't like to be that bad. But you're playing in a region with just maybe the best teams in the state. And as you guys have matriculated your way through the year, you find yourself sitting 4-4 and in prime position to make the playoffs. What's this season been like for you guys coming off of that tough loss in the state championship game, off season, preseason workouts, and now nearing November at this point with this season? What's it been like for you guys?
Well, how long do you have? Goodness gracious. A lot of things have happened, a lot of ups and downs, a lot of trials and tribulations. But me personally, it's been a great year of learning. I've made some mistakes, to be quite honest with you, and I've learned from them. And I'm really excited that I can continue to grow. And I think our young men, our team, are excited to grow. We did have a great run last year, and if I could go back and do one thing differently, one of our assistant coaches, Coach Crocker, kind of gave me an example the other day. He used this analogy that our team is like a family. And when we were just starting out this program, we were trying to build the program. Our first couple of born children, a lot was placed on them. And we had to go to them, and we were working 2 jobs, and we needed their help. And they had to watch the younger siblings, and they had to get a job. But with that work and effort came a lot of ownership in the program. And then we had 29 seniors graduate. And my biggest mistake was just turning it over to the seniors that they learn the same lessons that the older children learned. And so now we've got the youngest and the babies of the family that we've just turned everything over to, and it hasn't gone as smoothly as we wanted. We had more starters miss summer practices this year than in our first 3 years combined. That right there is when I knew I knew things weren't going to go as smoothly as last year. It just, I realized one player in our program had ever been on a team at White Knoll, whatever level they were on, B team, JV, varsity. Only one player at White Knoll right now has ever been on a losing team. They didn't learn the same lessons as the last year's seniors. They didn't get whooped. They didn't get embarrassed. They didn't have that chip on their shoulder to really improve. And if I could go back, one thing that bothers me every single morning when I wake up, I wish I would have attacked the offseason differently and tried to find an edge with this team, that they do have something to prove. I just expected, and I assumed, which my father told me never to assume, of course, the old story there. I'm sure he's disappointed that I did assume. I just assumed that they would be hungry after that state championship loss, that they would be starving to get back at it. And it just hasn't matriculated, to use your word, as well as possible. Now, we still have great kids, and we still have very talented kids, and we still have hardworking kids. And we have kids that play really hard in games. I told our team this week, that our word right now is humility. We're all learning to be humble, and we're all learning a little humility, myself included. And I gave them a few examples of how I'm going to change some things. And I asked the group, well, what does humility mean? It was crickets. So I guess we need to broaden our word
Go to the English department.
Yeah. We got to do a little something there. But I just try to give some examples of me personally that I thought of this weekend of maybe the way I'm doing things isn't the best way. Maybe there's some small changes I can make, and I've challenged all of our kids this week. Look at it differently. Maybe your attitude of practice isn't the best way to do it. Maybe your effort of practice isn't the best way to handle it. Maybe there are a few things in your life that you could change to improve as a football player this week, and in getting ready for Lexington. I really challenged us to be humble, and I really challenged the team yesterday. No one's gonna judge us on what has happened this year. No one's gonna judge us on the overtime loss to Sumter. No one's gonna, we kind of botched one against River Bluff. We played Dutch Fork well and just gave it away in the second half. Irmo, we were tied 7-7 and 14-14 and 21-21, and then they just kind of out-toughed us at the end. No one's going to judge us on what's happened so far. People are going to judge us, and we're going to judge ourselves on what happens now. What is our response to being 4-4? Can we recognize who we are, and can we be humble, and can we have humility, and can we try some things differently and finish this out the way we can? If we are, then the season's been a success. And I worry with last year's success that if we don't reach the same highs, our kids this year are going to feel like they didn't achieve a success. And that's been a really hard measuring stick because last year was a great year. But I still think looking at the playoff situation, we got to get into the playoffs, and we finish up with Lexington. We finish up with Chapin, two great teams in the region of doom, the region of death. There's no doubt about it. But when you look at the playoffs, our path goes through Irmo. We belong on the field with Irmo. Our kids know it. We want another chance at Irmo. We want to play him again. And people are going to judge us from what we do now going forward, not from what's happened previously.
You guys have, you mentioned it, you guys have had a heck of a year. You open up with a win at Camden, at historic Zemp Stadium. Yeah. Then you get Sumter at home. I mean, this schedule, it was a bear. Sumter at home, and that's an overtime game. You get Brooklyn Casey on the road. You handle them, but Brooklyn Casey's always got a good product, especially at home. You guys handled Fort D, handled them. And then you jump into region play again. You look at these games, a play here, a play there, some tough breaks down the stretch. You're into that necessary bye week that the region has done because of the hurricane and getting you guys, making sure there's not too long of a break before the playoffs. And you get Lexington and Chapin. And these are two teams that they played each other in a classic. and Lexington with Coach Curtis, plays just hard-nosed, stick-your-face-in-the-fan fan type defense, as you guys like to as well. So you got 2 games left, and you're sitting, as you mentioned, at 4-4. As you're preaching humility and trying to strike that balance of what success looks like in 2024 in comparison to 2023, how do you balance that, but also try to make sure that your kids don't press on their next Friday night on that 1st of November against Lexington?
We have to understand that success is measured differently this year. We're starting 8 sophomores again. We're not starting a senior laden team. We've got a lot of sophomores. We've gone a little bit of a youth movement, and we still have kids that need that experience and need those losses to cultivate chip on their shoulder and a desire to prepare at practice. I think at our game against River Bluff, we had a turnover early. We didn't have a lot of success on offense early, and we pressed and we panicked a little bit. And then we get to halftime and we calm them down and we go out and score first and third quarter. And then to River Bluff's credit, they went on a 10-minute drive and just out-toughed us, and their running back out-toughed us, and their offensive line out-toughed us. And we had to handle that. And so then we kind of panicked again, and we made a comeback, and we just didn't finish it. But we're trying to learn from all of those mistakes that that when something doesn't go our way, we're going to be fine. We're not going to jump out like last year in the playoffs. Last year in the playoffs was a magical run. I think we snuck up on some teams. Jumped up on Fort D. We jumped up on Sumter. We jumped up on Dutch Fork in the region, when we had that, win that we somehow pulled off. This year our kids have to understand that not everything's going to be that easy. People know who we are and people prepare for us. People talked all offseason about, White Knowles here, we got to get ready for them. And it's shown this year. People have prepared for us and people looked at us differently. And Coach Harden at River Bluff, I'm sure, had talked to their kids all offseason about the score there. And Coach Barnes at Sumter did the same thing. Coach Curtis at Lexington's doing the same thing. So our kids have to understand that it's not going to be simple. And we have to execute when games get tough. I think that's, again, something that I've learned personally that I haven't done a very good job of, is making sure our kids understand in the second half we have to execute, rely on our practice habits and rely on knowing exactly what to do at exactly the right moment. We've not been good executing in the third quarter. We've not been good executing in the second half. We've not been good coaching in the second half. And that starts with me, first and foremost. And I think we just have to understand that every game is going to be a battle. It's going to be a four-quarter game against Chapin. It's going to be a four-quarter game against Lexington coming up. Every game we play is going to be a four-quarter game. Right. We just don't have some of that top-end talent to pull away from people. But our kids are tough. Our kids are resilient. And we have to understand that that's still success. Success is still grinding it out.
Yeah. Over in the Red Bank area, I passed by your school quite a bit. Looking at your final two games of the year, you've got Lexington and Chapin. I don't think you could play two diametrically opposed teams in back-to-back weeks like Lexington and Chapin. So real quick, final thought on transitioning from that Lexington defense that you're going to play, a team that, candidly, I said a couple weeks ago, if they can't keep a team under 19, they're probably not going to win, and Coach Curtis proved me wrong. And then you go the next week, you got to play Chapin with Brady Albro and that offense that scores with the best of them, scored like 50 against Somerville and still lost, and had a really great game against Lexington. And how do you go from one to the other in your preparation? Are you looking ahead 2 weeks? You already kind of looking at that Chapin offense, or are you taking it week by week?
No. We're concentrated on Lexington. We've had to learn some humility, and that starts with me. And part of our humility is one day at a time, and it's not looking to December 1st or December 5th. It's not looking at getting back to a state championship game. It starts with Lexington. Lexington has maybe the best player in the region, McCauley, number 11. I'm sure he's back playing. I know he's got banged up a couple weeks ago. He's a running back. He's a linebacker. I really think, if I had to vote right now, he's the best player in the region, or one of the best players in the region. Maybe we've seen a few other really good players. But he's a great, fantastic player. Lexington always plays hard. But, that's the great thing about high school football is every week's different. You go from Camden to Sumter to Fort Dorchester to Cane Bay. It's different offenses. It's different expectations. It's different players. Everything's different. Every week is different. Every opponent is different. I think that's what makes, especially defensive coaches. I'm a little biased. I'm a defensive coach. I think that's what makes defensive coaches, really something, it separates the really good ones from the average defensive coaches is if you can start fresh every single week.
Right.
And you can build a base defense to be able to stop whatever type of offense that you're going against. I think our offense is prepared to go against different types of defenses, and we're just happy that White Knoll football's not dead. That White Knoll football's not over. We're happy that we can right this wrong. We're happy that we get a wake-up call at 4-4, 0-3 in the region. We have to eat that. We have to accept that and be humble about it. And how can we rectify this situation? And we do it by one game at a time, one play at a time. And we have everything in place to fix our path this year. Everything in place to fix it. Now it's on us as coaches and us as players to go do it.
Lexington and Chapin to wrap it up, and then trying to get in some playoff positioning and get back to the playoffs. Probably going to be on the road. maybe on the road. I don't know. 5A playoffs are really weird now, and I'll let the smart one. I'll let Elijah Campbell deal with that one, and we figure out together how that works with FPI rankings now and all the rest, and common opponents and common opponent scores and opponents of opponents and all the rest. But Coach Nick Pelham, thank you for taking the time with us on the show tonight, talking with us about your team as you're in that bye and getting ready for your final 2 games of the season.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
That's Coach Nick Pelham right here on the Love Chevy High School Scoreboard Show on the game.
I was accused of being the smart one, but a lot of that is because I have great internet connection. And that great internet connection happens with my friends over at Lumos because they posed the question, why reboot the internet when you can rebuild it? Because look, as we've known it for the past 50 years, the internet was built for things like landlines, cable TV, things that are kind of being phased out. Landlines especially, definitely phased out. But now it's time for an internet as we have never before seen it, right? An internet where small cities have the internet as fast as big cities, uploads are as fast as downloads, where your digital life is never interrupted. And of course, the metaverse isn't just a concept, but a part of life. Lumos is 100% fiber optic internet. It's built from the ground up. This is an internet built for communities where we live, work, thrive, and grow. This internet is built for families, with smartphones, video games, voice assistants, tablets, everything where you need to be all online, all at the same time. Lumos, an internet built for the future. See your future at lumosfiber.com/future.
We're excited to tell you about our friends over at Underdog Fantasy. With over 5 million happy players across 33 states and $2 billion won, Underdog makes it fun and easy to cash in on your favorite athletes' performances. You can play their pick'em game and win up to 1,000 times your money by just choosing higher or lower on player stats. Things like touchdowns in football, home runs in baseball, and points scored in basketball games. They also have Double Flex, which allows you to even take a couple L's and still end up with a winning entry when it's all said and done. They also have Underdog Rescues, where you can get your money back and a promo if an early injury prevents your pick from winning. This week on Underdog, I've got Shohei Ohtani higher than half an RBI when the Dodgers take on the Yankees. You can download the app, sign up with promo code THEGAME1075, and deposit now to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. That's promo code THEGAME1075. Must be 18 or older and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
Voting is not a privilege, it's your right. A person with a disability deserves full access to the voting process. Disability Rights South Carolina encourages you to head to the polls on November 5th. From curbside voting to tabletop placement for wheelchair accessibility and audio ballot via headphones, voting is for everyone. If you have a disability-related voting problem in South Carolina, call 866-275-7273 or visit disabilityrightssc.voting.
I'm here with the mortgage guru, Jacob Crowder of First Palmetto Bank. Jacob, tell me more about this 4.99% 30-year fixed product you are offering in Richland County.
We have a community reinvestment product in the areas of Richland County. Blythewood, Northeast, Southeast, and the I-20 corridor are areas that we're offering the 4.99% interest with a 5.075 APR on a 30-year fixed mortgage. We are underserving these areas, so the bank is offering 100% purchase loans at 4.99% on a 30-year fixed. No points, no mortgage insurance, no gimmicks, just lower payments.
4.99% is awesome. What's a payment look like?
Yes, Bill. A payment on $200,000 at that APR is at $1,072 a month for 360 months. A payment on $300,000 is at $1,608. These estimates do not include taxes and insurance. These loans are only for primary residences, and the loan amounts are capped at $300,000. Call me today. My number is 803-719-1005, or you can email me at jcrowder@firstpalmetto.com.
All loans are subject to credit approval and property appraisal. First Palmetto Bank is a member of the FDIC and an equal housing lender. My NMLS number is 198432.
All-American Heating and Air's proud owners, Gene and Debbie Royer.
Oh, there's many companies that don't do background checks. It's sad to say.
A background check is performed on every employee that works for All-American.
We want to make sure that we're sending a safe person into your home and you can feel safe.
Trust All-American's family to help your family.
Check my prices, check their prices, check my word to their word.
We're a good first opinion or second opinion.
When you need us, we're there. All-American Heating and Air.
AllAmericanHeatingandAir.com.
It's the Love Chevy High School Scoreboard Show
with Justin Hall and Elijah Campbell on 107.5 The Game.
Welcome back into the Love Chevy High School Scoreboard Show on the game. I tell you what, Justin Hall, Elijah Campbell, Ed Bird. Kind of like those interviews with coaches there. Give me a chance to breathe on a Friday night. Gives Elijah a chance to not talk for a couple of minutes. He's been doing that since about the 2 o'clock hour today.
They can't get me to stop talking around here. I can't shut the hell up.
Terry Ford looking for ways other than, of course, the. Let's go to the Love Chevy phone lines, 803-404-6100. Roger on the line. Roger, what you got for us?
I got 3-game score. First of all, Calhoun County 7, Richmond Nut in the second quarter. Auburn Prep 27, Patrick Henry 14 halftime. Honkin Tower Nieces 30, Blackwood Hilda 6. A minute left in the first half.
Wow.
That
Roger,
score
thank you,
escalated
sir.
quickly.
That got out of hand fast.
My goodness, that HKT score came out of nowhere, brother. Woo.
Did Blackville Hilda say something about Roger for HKT to do that to them? Good gracious. Thank you, Roger. We appreciate it. HKT up 30-6.
You down with HKT.
Wow.
Yeah, you know me.
Wow, that is insane. That's
a
insanity.
That is a kicking.
No kidding.
Was 8-6 the last time Roger called in.
All right, I'm going to have to do some research to determine if I should be stunned like I am. I feel like my shock and awe is rightly placed.
And even if this was a game they were supposed to win badly, it's one of those things where you didn't expect it to go 0 to 100 real quick. I mean, I feel like Ron Burgundy leaned in the back of that chair and be like, whoa, that escalated quickly.
Really got out of hand fast.
Britt killed a guy.
With the trident.
The trident.
To that point, he mentions Ron Burgundy, and that brings me to the idea that there are so many important people in show business, one of those being Tom Selleck.
Yes.
And I love that Magnum PI theme. That one right there. And here on this show, it means we've got scores, and more scores to get to you. Scoreless between the East Clarendon Wolverines and the Atlantic Collegiate Armada.
The Armada, one of the best names in the state.
The Kings Lions. Which king? We don't know.
Plural. Kings.
Maybe it was Jefferson Davis. Just kidding. That's a history joke. Hope you got it. Scoreless in the first quarter.
Hashtag not a king.
To some.
To some.
Francis Wardlaw Academy, the Patriots beat the Oak Brook Knights 54-12. Bethesda, the Blazers lead the PD Golden Eagles 14-11 over at Mullins.
PD Academy is on Ed Bird watch.
Careful there. 7-7 the score. That's not correct. Abbeville leads 20-7 over Dixie. I might need to find a better scoreboard. Woodland leads Academic Magnet 35-7 at the half. St. Joseph's Catholic leading the Mustangs of Palmetto 28-12. Here you go. Christchurch Episcopal loaded the bases with a walk, and then their 4-hole hitter hits a tank. Grand slam. It's 4-0. Christchurch leads over Southside Christian. The Sabres.
Whoa. Do we have some Love Chevy High School Football Scoreboard shows? Scoreagami?
Some are saying it. Some are saying it.
I can't confirm nor deny, but we're getting the crack staff on it.
I've been doing the show for a while, and it was happening before me, so I can't confirm.
Whew.
The Patriots of Powdersville lead Carolina High and Academy 28-0. Belton Honeypath said, we're going to roll over to Anderson, and we're going to handle the Bulldogs of Pendleton. It is 41-0. BHP.
Lord.
Strom Thurmond trails Saluda 14-7. Batesburg-Leesville, the Panthers, lead the Pillion Panthers 35-0. Those two schools are separated by, what do you think, Ed Bird? Maybe like 15 minutes of drive time? Does that sound about right between Batesburg, Leesville, and Pillion?
A skip, hop, and a jump, as they'd say in some parts.
As the crow flies, it's even shorter. No score between Westwood and West Florence, according to my scoreboard. Again, I need to refresh this thing. Hartsville went over to Sumter to play Lakewood, and it's 49-0, Hartsville.
Even out of Kellytown, they kick a lot of tail.
Kellytown travels like defense travels.
Oh, it certainly has traveled tonight, especially in spirit. Goodness gracious.
Will Wilson is back for the Richland Northeast Cavaliers, but you wouldn't know it based on the scoreboard because the York Cougars lead 20-7 at halftime.
Oh, wow.
How about that?
Maybe a little bit of rust factor
that?
going on there, or is York just extra prepared? This may be a massive win for York. Goodness gracious.
Burns trails Spartanburg. The Vikings lead the Rebels 28-7. Clover has battled back. I think they're about 5-2 or 5-3 on the season. Check me, 5-3. Clover leads Nation Ford, a team that's 1-7, 27-20 in the second quarter.
Oh, I mean, we mentioned at the beginning of the show, we kind of joked a little bit. We're like, oh, upset watch. It's early in the game. It's lingering.
It's lingering and sticking around, and that's a problem. Let's see here. Lucy G. Beckham, the Bengals of Lucy Beckham, trail the Stags of Berkeley.
Fighting Chris Deerings.
9-3. The Dolphins of Hilton Head Prep lead the Saints. Christian Academy of Myrtle Beach 56-13. Even in high school, the Saints can't win.
I was going to say, a Saints team getting outscored by a lot and having no signs of life.
Shocking.
And just not winning. Yeah, no, not stunned at all. This is becoming an unfortunate theme.
Wilson Hall, the Barons, lead the Generals of T.S. Sumter 37-0. That's a name game.
That is a name game. We'll take it.
That's an in there name game. 96 has scored 49 points. They lead American Leadership Academy 49-0 at the half.
A team away from that being a number game.
Green Sea Floyds leads Hemingway 28-6. Hemingway, that's a name, but not a name game. Carver's Bay leads Johnsonville at last check 6-0. Here's your hyphen bowl. Williston Elko, the Blue Devils lead the War Eagles of Wagner Sally 25-6. Hunter County Tyler, here's your another hyphen game. Leads Blackfield Hilda, as Roger mentioned earlier, 30-6. That one at the half. The Lions of Louisville lead Great Falls. The Red Devils trailing that one 28-0. The W.J. Keenan Raiders, William Jefferson Keenan Raiders, trail Newberry 21-8. Marlboro County forfeited their game against Loris tonight, so Loris wins 1-0. The Wildcats of Dillon lead Waccamaw 27-15. Aner over Georgetown 20-13. Philip Simmons trails Timberland at the half 7-0. Pageland Central over Chesterfield 12-0 at last check in the first quarter. If you got scores on any of these, hit us on Twitter or on the Love Chevy phone lines. The Sherrall Braves lead the Buford Yellow Jackets of the Upstate 31-0. The Walhalla Razorbacks lead the West Oak Warriors 35-0. And the Bluffton Bobcats lead the Battling Bishops of Bishop England 10-7. You have to enunciate the B's in that one.
Battling Bishops
of Bishop England. You've got to make that work.
Can we get Bishop England to play Atlantic Collegiate so we can get the Battling Bishops versus the Armada? Specifically, Bishop England.
America wants that.
Against the Armada.
America wants that. Barnwell leads Edisto 21-0 at the half or in the second quarter. Thank you, Chris, for that one. Our buddy Joe Pollock on Twitter also gives us this one. Hammond leads 21-3 at the half. So Hammond kind of keeping their distance there. It is 14-7 Saluda over Strom Thurmond at the half. Thank you, Thomas, on Twitter for that one. That is your look at their scoreboard for now, because we need to go to the Love Chevy phone lines. Our buddy Kale is on to give us an update on that Saluda and Strom Thurmond game. Go ahead, bud.
What is up, guys? I know when I was on the phone with you guys last, the second quarter was just starting, and Saluda was starting a drive in their own territory. It was a 7-0 game. Just 2 plays after I get off the phone, number 22, Travius Dugar for Strom Thurmond comes up with an interception, returning it to the Saluda 25-yard line. And after what seemed to be a 9 or 10 play drive from the Saluda 25 that required 2 fourth down conversions, Cam Black scores a 1-yard touchdown for the Rebels to tie it up at 7. Saluda, the following drive, they drive down the field, and it was 3rd down and 8. And Drew Arendt had a wide-open receiver downfield. He threw it to him, but unfortunately the receiver didn't know the ball was coming towards him. He was looking to block and not catch the ball. So that required Saluda, after that 3rd down, to punt the ball. 2 plays later, Strom Thurmond, quarterback Brashawn Lee, is sacked and fumbles the ball, recovered by Akeem Mills, number 5, the transfer from Ridge Spring Minetta at linebacker. And that put Saluda in position to go down the field and score a touchdown that was capped off by a 10-yard reception by wide receiver number 13, Vic Gaines. Strom Thurmond tried driving down the field with less than 2 minutes left, and with 3 seconds remaining, they were in Saluda territory, but safety number 80, Cedric Springs, picked the ball off to give the Tigers the ball with 3 seconds left, and they took a knee, and now we are at halftime with Saluda leading 14-7.
Appreciate it, Kale. Comprehensive. We appreciate it. Look forward to hearing from you in the third quarter as well, bud. Thank you so much. And we're going to have to take a quick break here. So, Jeff, I see you. Hang tight. We'll get to Jeff right after this on the Love Chevy High School Scoreboard Show on the game.
10 years ago, who could have predicted what the internet would bring? Streaming videos, voice assistants, smartphones, smart homes, work from home. But here we are, wondering what the next 10 years will bring. Whatever it brings, Lumos 100% fiber optic internet is ready with incredible speeds and reliability. So you can do more and be more than you ever thought possible on the internet built for the future. Plans start at $50 per month. Learn more at lumosfiber.com/next.
Hey guys, Jay Phillips here from my good friends at Integrated Media, Columbia's leader in today's technology for your home and business. They've got TVs from Sony and Samsung, surround sound systems from Dolby, Sonos wireless speakers, Wi-Fi that works everywhere, even cameras to see what's going on around your home. They've got you covered. Call Integrated Media at 803-948-8327. Set up a time for them to come out to your house and talk with you about your wants and your needs. You want to cut the cord? They can help. Want one of those beautiful Samsung frame TVs that looks like art when it's not turned on? They do that too. Plus fantastic outdoor systems that let you enjoy your favorite team, movie, TV show, or music while you also enjoy our beautiful South Carolina weather. You can even stop in and see them at the Experience Center, 105 Snapdragon Court and Chapin, and get a real idea of what these things look like in your home. Do what I've done, and many of your friends and neighbors. Call 803-948-8327 and get home theater like never before from Integrated Media.
Hey, this is Ray.
And Mary Ann with Absolute Glass.
And we're happy to have been voted Lexington's best glass store for 15 years in a row.
Many drivers are unaware that your cracked windshields can be replaced, usually at absolutely no cost to you.
If all the high-end car dealerships in town can trust us to do their glass needs, so can you.
We service the Midlands both at our shop in Lexington, but we are also happy to come to you at home or work.
Find us online at absoluteglassinc.com.
And remember, if you can see through it, we can do it.
Hey guys, it's Jay Phillips for AAA Heating and Air. You know, for many years, AAA has been your year-round ally against changing weather across the Midlands, whether it's the hot summers or those cool winters. Let their expert team make sure that your home is always an oasis of comfort. And now, Roy and Dana Finley have a spectacular offer to make it even better for you and your family for years to come. How about 12 months, no payments or interest in 2024, plus guaranteed financing, a $1,500 system buyback rebate, and their 15-year parts and labor guarantee that speaks volumes of the trust in their service and in their products. AAA has done things at my house that make my family nice and comfortable all year long. They can do it for you too. Get a free quote today. Call AAAtoday.com. That's call AAAtoday.com or give them a shout at 803-677-1500. Tell them Jay Phillips sent you to AAA Heating and Air.
AAA Air when you need us. AAA Heating and Air.
It's the Love Chevy High School Scoreboard Show
with Justin Hall and Elijah Campbell on 107.5 The Game.
Welcome back into the Love Chevy High School Scoreboard Show. On The Game, Justin Hall, Elijah Campbell, Ed Bird with you on a Friday night, wrapping up hour number 2 of the program. Jeff has waited patiently, and we appreciate it on the Love Chevy phone lines, 803-404-6100. Jeff has an update on Batesburg-Leesville for us, and I look forward to this. I was told a question as well. So go ahead, Jeff.
Hey, gentlemen, how are you?
Doing well. Doing well.
Good. Really enjoy your show. Miss Tommy Moody.
Of course.
You two do a really good job.
Appreciate
and I really
that.
don't have a question about Batesburg-Leesville. I was actually calling to get a question on or on the latest on the Lexington score. But let me offer this comment to you. If Saluda wins, this could set up, I think, one of the most anticipated games in the Midlands next week when Saluda takes on Batesburg-Leesville. And Batesburg-Leesville, I guess it was about 4 years ago. I mean, they were left to dead. They were a start-over program, brand new coach. And it's amazing what's happened up there. So it may be worth it for some folks to do some type of previews for this game, because I think Batesburg-Leesville-Saluda could be one of the most anticipated games here in the Midlands we've had this year. Thanks for your show again.
Appreciate it, Jeff. Thank you for the kind words.
And agreed, man.
Checks in the mail. Yes, agree. That game is going to be. If Saluda wins tonight, and I would argue if Saluda doesn't win.
It's still a big game regardless.
I think it's a big game regardless.
Same region implications we laid out in the last hour.
But if they're both undefeated. Then we're talking, Jeff. I agree. I agree with you 100%.
If the implications of getting kicked out of the undefeated club still exist or not.
That really matters. And that's really what they're going to be talking about in practice all week. It's not about the region championship.
It's about not seeing Ed Bird at the end of the year.
Yeah, ultimately, that's what they're really focused on. In regards to Lexington, so that region, Lexington, Dutch Fork, Irmo, River Bluff, Chapin, and White Knoll all are on a bye this week. The way the schedule would have set up, most of those teams would have had like 2 weeks or 3 weeks off, counting a playoff bye. They didn't want to do that. Rightfully so. I don't think you should do that. So the entire region took a bye this week. They basically just pushed, since the season got extended by a week to November 8th being the final week of the regular season, they took a mandatory bye this week. They're not playing. A chance for everyone to get healthy, scout a little bit, self-scout, and then they'll be back at it next week. Lexington plays, off the top of my head, they play White Knoll because I did that interview with Pelham. Lexington plays White Knoll next week, so that's it. That's that game next week. For the Wildcats of Lexington, and who are in a good spot, Elijah.
Yes.
We haven't talked much about the region of doom simply because they're not playing tonight. So here's that region that we probably get accused of talking about too much, but who cares? They're all really good. Lexington, for kind of having to punch their way through the region and sort of be there. They're in a good position heading to the playoffs, in my opinion. You got Dutch Fork and Irmo here. River Bluff is your third team. I mean, you could make the argument that probably every single one of those teams are getting in the playoffs. So
Certainly,
Lexington's in a really good spot, and that region splits off Division I, Division II, and 5A, because apparently we can't have 6 classifications in this state.
Dumb. Still dumb.
I know Uncle Lou disagrees with me on that, but either way, Lexington's in a really good spot. And to be fair, when it comes to playoff football, as the case with playoff baseball, with playoff baseball, we're watching the World Series. Pitching, you better have at least 3 starting pitchers, right? And your defense better be good. Dodgers already have an error tonight.
Staffs win series.
Defense really matters in the playoffs. You can score points. You can light up scoreboards. Here's looking at you, Northwestern. But you know what the other thing Northwestern does really well? They play good defense, too.
They don't let you score a lot of points.
So that's why I'm saying I think Lexington's in a really good spot heading down the last 2 weeks of the season to make that run. And in regards to Jeff's question about their game tonight, which they're not playing.
Yeah, that's the White Knoll Lexington game is massive, not because it has region championship implications or maybe even region third place implications. I think you kind of hit it pretty well that River Bluff, I think, has that one squared away because of the wins they've been able to pull out the last few weeks against White Knoll and Chapin. But this is the one right there. You do not want to be the last place team in this region. You do not want to be that team that goes in the playoffs as an at-large, because I agree. I do think every one of these teams will be in the playoffs, right? Especially when it comes to picking an at-large. It's hard, if I'm picking at-larges, to pick anybody outside the last place team in this region just because it is so hard. It is an absolute gauntlet that you're playing night in or a week, Friday in, Friday out. And it's hard to exclude that team from the playoffs.
Right.
You don't want to be that one team that travels to a region winner. And there's a lot of value to that because this region is so deep. The region, and that's why we call it the Region of Doom, is because I sincerely believe that a 2 seed in another region will get beat by one of these teams that finish towards the bottom of this one. But whatever you do, if you are Lexington and White Knoll, you do not, I repeat, you do not want to be on the road at a region winner to start your playoff run.
Right. Yeah, no. That Blackville Hilda, I went back and looked. Roger updated us on that HKT 30-6 lead
where
at
we had to
halftime.
double take a little bit.
Sure. Blackville Hilda 6-1, as is HKT.
That's under the radar game of the night, really.
Their only loss was to Barnwell. The Warhorses beat them 24-7 in week 1. Then a 35-point win over Edisto, a 5-point win over 96, a 6-point win over Silver Bluff, an 8-point win over Denmark Oler, a 44-point win over Wagner Sally Math, and a 29-point win over Calhoun County. Blackville Hilda's really good.
And they're getting just the brakes beaten off of them by HKT tonight.
Nieces. Looking at HKT, beat Allendale Fairfax by 38, lost by 28, math, to Louisville.
Live math on air.
Then beat Denmark Olar by 26, beat Lake Marion by 8. I don't have a score here from the Wagner Sally game, but they obviously won that game. A 2-point win over OW, a 28-point win over Calhoun County, a 42-point win over Williston Elko. I mean, are you kidding me?
I mean, maybe as Hunter Kiner Tyler, the Fighting Rogers, going to be the team with the statement win of the night? Granted, I'll pause that. If Saluda beats Strom Thurmond, I think that's your statement win of the night.
Sure.
But HKT, I mean, with the way they're beating Blackville, Hilda is putting themselves in contention for statement win of the night.
You're making hay. By the way, the scoreboard that I used was obviously a little finicky on that last scoreboard update. So we're going to do some intrepid work here in the break and get you some big time scores here as we kick off hour number 3 of the Love Chevy High School Scoreboard Show next on The Game.
Fall is here, and with it comes all the traditional family outings like tailgating, mountain and beach adventures, and road trips to grandma's over the holidays. Wherever you go with great gas mileage, safety, technology, comfort, and style in a new Honda from Honda of Columbia. Right now, you'll get more for your trade than ever, and as always, you'll enjoy their no-hassle pricing, no-pressure buying experience. Honda of Columbia, your friendly family Honda dealer since 1978. Highway 378 at I-20.
Hey, this is Tasha from The Gutterman. Storm season is here. Make sure your biggest investment is protected. Call the guys in the powder blue truck, The Guttermen. We have been providing top-notch service throughout the Midlands for over 40 years. Call us today at 803-791-7147. Again, that's 803-791-7147.
We keep the clutter out of your gutter. Call on the Guttermen.
10 years ago, who could have predicted what the internet would bring? Streaming videos, voice assistants, smartphones, smart homes, work from home. But here we are, wondering what the next 10 years will bring. Whatever it brings, Lumos 100% fiber optic internet is ready with incredible speeds and reliability. So you can do more and be more than you ever thought possible on the internet built for the future. See your future at lumosfiber.com/future.
Get ready to smile because Herndon Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy dealer, is offering an amazing deal right now. Get up to $20,000 off new Silverados. Yes, you heard that right. Up to $20,000 off. Don't wait. Head over to HerndonChevy.com today and drive home in the truck of your dreams. Chevy, together let's drive.
Herndon Chevrolet, Herndon makes you wanna smile.
Call 803-510-5447 for complete details.
Hurricane season is here, and it's important for residents to ensure that they are protected. Most homeowners and renters insurance policies do not cover flood damage, so it's essential to purchase a separate flood insurance policy to help you recover quickly and protect the life you built.
WNKT FM, Eastover, Columbia.
Congrats to the Gamecocks women on another national championship.
A Cumulus media station. Love Chevy High School Scoreboard Show
with Justin Hall and Elijah Campbell on 107.5 The Game.
Welcome back into the Love Chevy High School Scoreboard Show on The Game. Justin Hall, Elijah Campbell, Ed Bird behind the glass with you on a Friday evening, hour number 3 of 4. We are officially 50% of the way complete in this program, but a lot to get to, a lot more scores to get to. I've got a list, by the way, of Mr. Football winners since 1995. I was 1 year old. I'm going to go through that list here in a minute and tell you, hey, you're going to be amazed at some of the schools Mr. Football in South Carolina has attended. I'll leave it at that.
Evolution. The evolution of the sport here in the state.
Batesburg-Leesville leads Pillion 42-0 in the third quarter.
Poor Pillion.
They're going to be undefeated here soon.
Yep.
Still.
Staying in the club. I mean, Batesburg-Leesville's enjoying their time in the club. They have unlimited orange Gatorade right now. Unlimited.
Yeah.
Bottomless, if you will, as they would say. Like it's, brunch mimosas. We have bottomless orange Gatorade.
No doubt.
For the fellas in this tier of the undefeated club.
Let's see here. A couple more that we didn't get to. Lancaster. How about this? Lancaster leads Camden 16-7 at the half.
Ooh.
I'll leave that alone.
Camden's in some trouble.
South Florence up. Just had that score 29-7 at the half. Lugoff Elgin up on Spring Valley 21-10. First time I've seen that score. Northside Christian up 21-7 on Florence Christian. We mentioned York over R&E 20-7. That one's at the half. Porter Gowden, Cardinal Newman, no score here showing. Please update us on that one if you've got it. And we mentioned that Strom Thurmond and Saluda game. Saluda up 14-7. Got an update on that Southside Christian Christ Church game. Southside Christian did score a touchdown, so now it looks like a football score-ish. It's 7-4.
Still high school football scoregami board show watch available right here.
That sounded right. That sounded right. Looking
7 to 4.
7 to 4.
I can't say I've seen that in any level of football, a 7 to 4 final. I have a feeling there might be some more scoring that occurs throughout the course of this game, but it would be really cool to say that we had a 7 to 4 final.
No
That's
kidding.
personal scoregami. That'd be personal Elijah Campbell scoregami.
Never seen that
I've not
before.
seen it.
By the way, if you're listening to us or watching us on the YouTube stream, and you have an opportunity to watch the SEC Network here soon, you might want to do that if you're into college basketball.
Ah, yes.
Kansas and Arkansas are playing an exhibition tonight.
What a great exhibition.
Both coaches are mic'd.
Oh, perfect.
So you get to hear Coach Cal cursing at his players.
Oh, I love it.
Was that too much?
And not focusing on development. Yeah.
You know who you don't need to have mic'd up to hear him yelling at his players? Frank Martin.
Oh, because you could hear it from the broadcast booth. And you don't want to be disturbed.
You could hear it from the stands, right, up from the basket.
He could break city noise ordinances.
The year they went to the Final Four, they played Auburn and hung 100 on them that night. I was there for that game.
Probably yelled at him for scoring too much.
Yeah. Well, I think Dwayne Notice might have missed a screen or something. Who's to say?
Hey, Energy and Frank Martin is a peanut butter jelly-esque combination.
Oh,
that man will never lack it.
That's good. That's true. I'll agree with that. Liberty's up on Landrum 28-10, by the way. Carolina 4. That's a weird score that I'm getting on Twitter because it says Carolina Forest 31, Carolina Forest 24. Can't be right.
Sometimes in football, you do beat yourself.
There it is. 31-24. I want to make sure I got the teams right. I saw it earlier, but Carolina Forest leads Myrtle Beach 31-24. As far as I'm aware, that game has region championship implications.
I believe so.
If I'm not mistaken. I think winner wins the region, actually.
Myrtle Beach having a really good season.
A resurgent season.
Yeah. I believe they hovered around 500 last year.
Somewhere around in there. But that Myrtle Beach reminds me of the Mr. Football list that I have in front of me because that Myrtle Beach team in 2019 with Luke Doty was really darn good. I want to look at this list really quick while we got some time. We're in a little bit of a dead period with some of these games that aren't moving as quickly as some of us in the industry would like. Let's look back as far as we can to 1995. Ooh, I'm going to ask you that question later. That's on the screen.
Ooh.
1995, Jermail Kelly. Remember Jermail? If you're a Gamecock fan of some age, you remember Jermail Kelly. Wide receiver from Berea won it in 1995 as the Mr. Football Award. The next year, a Clemson commit, Kyle Young, the offensive lineman from Daniel High School. The last Rock Hill player to win Mr. Football, Malik Clark is a finalist this year, was defensive back Chris Hope.
Huh.
Interesting.
Was that future NFL cornerback Chris Hope?
I think so.
Future Pittsburgh Steeler.
Yes, went to Florida State. Interesting. A little like connection. You like that? Malik Clark.
There's some serendipitous information.
Gamecock player Derek Watson won Mr. Football as a running back at Palmetto High School. Mark Logan, the quarterback at Greenwood, went on to play at Georgia Tech in the option in 99. Looking here, Mo Thompson, defensive end,
Better than Les Thompson.
went to South Carolina. How about this one? A Mr. Football that played quarterback at Camden, Eric McCollum in 02, went to Iowa.
So he would have played for Kirk Ferentz.
Yes.
I don't envy his position there.
Kirk Ferentz is about to retire, and I think Mark Stoops is going to be the next head coach at Iowa.
I've not considered that.
That's going to happen.
But
Kentucky's not going to fire Mark Stoops because there's a buyout. But he's not coaching at Kentucky next year.
I think that relationship is soured. I think that might have been soured to the point of there is no reconciliation.
Right.
The marriage counseling is not going very well with those two.
Exactly. Quarterback from Myrtle Beach, J.D. Melton. How about this one? Another quarterback who won Mr. Football went to the triple option. He went to Navy. Kudos to you, sir, by the way, going to Navy. Kudos. And then let's see, 2007, The final non-South Carolina commit. By the way, South Carolina the Gamecocks did not have a Mr. Football commit to play football for them from the year 2001 to 2008.
Seems like a little too long of a drought there.
Well, it correlates, right? Think about how South Carolina looked from 2002 to 07.
Okay.
Think about that. And then I'm going to read you these next names. In 2008, Stephon Gilmore. In 2009, Marcus Lattimore. In 2010, Jadeveon Clowney.
Yeah, those guys are pretty good at football.
Do you know who recruited some of those
Two
guys?
are still playing.
Do you know who recruited some of those guys?
Would that be one Steve Spurrier?
Yeah, along with the head man now.
Along with Shane Beamer.
Look at that. See what I did there?
I'm telling you, that's why Shane recruits the area so well.
In 2011,
He's done it before.
In 2011, Shaq Rowland, wide receiver from Lexington, he caught a pass in the 2013 Clemson, South Carolina game in the corner of the end zone, student section side, front right corner. I remember that play. Of course, we mentioned Trammell Terry earlier. How about Jacob Park, quarterback from Stratford, went on to play at Georgia, or went on to be on the roster at Georgia.
Yeah, didn't do much playing, I'm afraid.
And then you hit that same streak in 2017. This is the Will Muschamp years. DeCarrion Joyner, Zach Pickens, Luke Doty.
3 straight
bang,
years.
Bang, bang, right?
3 straight Gamecocks.
Problem is you didn't see the same success you saw previously.
Yeah, those 3, as good as football players they were, they're just not Lattimore, Clowney, and Gilmore. But who is?
Zach Pickens pretty good.
Pickens pretty good.
And I guess I'm not going to say the heart of a lion, but I certainly think DeCarrion Joyner epitomized Gamecock football for those years.
Oh, yeah.
Terrion Ingram Dawkins, defensive tackle from Gaffney, went on to Georgia. Jalen Sneed, linebacker out of Hilton Head Island, went on to play at Notre Dame. Then, of course, you had Xavier McLeod in 2022. And Josiah Thompson.
That feels like forever ago.
And Josiah Thompson in 2023. So, you get to look at the history of the Mr. Football. Some of those guys work out. Some of those guys go on to play in the NFL and have long careers, great careers. Here's looking at you. Give me a second.
Stephon Gilmore.
Jadeveon Clowney, Stephon Gilmore. I still believe Marcus Lattimore would have.
Stephon Gilmore was making plays last night in that Thursday night football game. He's still got it, man. He's still got it. And at Stephon Gilmore's peak in the NFL, it was his last year in New England, I believe it was, or second to last year. And I think this was 2017.
Right.
The Patriots made the playoffs and were not a very good offense. That was like the last, I think that's one of the last Tom Brady years. They were not very good on offense at all. So it's been 2018. Not very good at all. You could have made a legitimate case that Stephon Gilmore was the NFL MVP. Firmly believe it. And at the time, I remember making that case. I remember hosting a Tennessee Titans pregame show in the early mornings because it's kind of like what Tyler and Terry do, the pregame to the pregame, right?
Right.
So we did that, and I remember when they were playing the Patriots, right before the playoff game, it was the wild card game. So it's been 2019. Just kidding. My years they all run together. It's whatever. But in that playoff run where the Titans ended up going to the AFC Championship game, they had to face the Patriots first. And I remember going into that show, laying out a plan or laying out the case that Stephon Gilmore was the MVP of the entire NFL that year. He was incredible.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
At his peak, man, one of the best corners of our time.
There's no question. I mean, a lockdown corner.
A take away half the field type corner.
Arguably better than Darrelle Revis.
Yeah. Yeah, and certainly.
And that's somebody who pulled for Darrelle Revis.
And certainly in terms of longevity.
Oh, yeah. Revis went off a cliff after, 3 years?
Yeah, after a couple injuries. But Gilmore's had injuries too. But the guy is still keeps on trucking, man. But in terms of longevity, his peak, he's without a doubt Hall of Famer to me. And if we're doing like all century teams in the NFL, I think you might have to carve out a corner spot for Stephon Gilmore.
Let's see here. Speaking of longevity, Hammond's got an 18-game win streak. You like that segue?
Yeah, look at that.
But it's a 56-yard touchdown for Ben Lippen to open the third quarter. It's 21-10.
Ben Lippen been scoring.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
2-possession ball game. Careful.
Arm's length. We said keep it at arm's length. And we set arm's length. We defined arm's length as 2 scores. It's a 2-score game.
Careful.
Arm's length. And it doesn't have to be Victor Wembanyama's arms either.
True. Just needs to be like my arm length. End of the third quarter, which, by the way, not long. Batesburg-Leesville leads Pillion 48-0 in their ball game. Bishop England,
the Fighting Bishops,
14-10 over Bluffton midway through the third quarter. Clennon, the Red Devils, lead Blacksburg 28-0. That one is at the half. 13-0 Columbia over Eau Claire. 7:51 to go in the third quarter. These are games I have not seen scores for. It was 6-0 at the half. Gaffney has scored a touchdown on a fourth down conversion. PAT is good. 6:47 to go in the third quarter. Gaffney leads 7-6 over Dorman.
Gaffney, the team who can never play just a normal football game, but still unbeaten.
Yep.
They have not lost any of these abnormal football games.
Right.
In a dogfight. That was kind of me calling my shot earlier, is that Dorman teams up with Ed Bird to eject them from the undefeated club.
Could happen.
It still could happen. 7-6 games, 6.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. I'm not putting it past him just yet, but is tonight the night the magic fairy dust runs out for Gaffney? We will see.
It could happen.
They don't score a lot of games, man. That's the most Big Ten type high school team you will see in this great state.
Right. Little JP from Angels in the Outfield. It could happen. It's possible.
We need
possible.
That as a soundboard.
Oh, we do.
It could happen.
That's Little JP. No, that's what I call him. No matter what, I don't call him JP. I call him Little JP.
Chester, close like that.
Chester leads Mid Carolina 42-0. That one at the end of the third quarter. We got
Poor Mid Carolina. Bless their hearts, man. They've gotten it kicked a few times.
Got some blowout city stuff going on here with some of these scores. Still locked in a good one between Saluda and Strom Thurmond. That game is still a one-possession ball game in the third quarter. Back and forth, back and forth. Let's see here. Rebels start a drive at their own 43. They go to the other 43. They got it to the Saluda 36. Now they're facing 3rd and 18. Wow. They got it.
Converting a 3rd and 18.
Strom Thurmond's on the move, folks, and could tie this ball game up. It's a 14-7 deficit for them right now.
Well, if you're a believer in momentum, nothing would shift Uncle Mo in one's favor, quite like converting a 3rd and 18 to keep a drive alive. And then when you're Saluda, it's how do you respond after that, right? Like that's a pretty deflating play to give that up. Can you get back? Can you revert back to your training? Can you get back to getting your head back at the task on hand and being able to stop that bleeding? I mean, like this is what we said before the game. Strom Thurmond, not undefeated, but the only loss was to a North Augusta team that's 2 classifications above them.
Right.
Saluda still undefeated. Strom Thurmond has the dominant history. Strom Thurmond beat them like a drum last year. The onus is on Saluda to prove they belong.
Right.
The onus is on Saluda to prove they can win this big boy football game. This is a situation in a big boy football game where the big boy pants got to come on. You got to get a big boy stop.
We're setting up for a legitimate. Someone's going to win a region in a do or die game here, no matter who wins this ball game. Hammond goes the length of the field in 4 minutes. It's 28-10.
Speaking of big boy football, Hammond makes sure this game is not at arm's length.
Right.
Much longer.
Right. Indian Land also leading in their ball game. Let's take a break. We'll come back on the other side. When we come back, we'll look ahead to your college football Saturday and more right here on the Love Chevy High School Scoreboard Show on the game.
Trans-Siberian Orchestra, the rock holiday tradition returns. December 12th, Colonial Life Arena, Columbia. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Bring the whole family to the all-new show. Soaring guitars, dazzling lasers, and enough pyro to keep you warm all season. Don't miss Trans-Siberian Orchestra, presented by Live Nation.
Hey guys, Jay Phillips and Grayson Griner here for our friends at Integrated Media. Grayson, now that you and the family have settled into life after years in the bigs, I hear you've added to what Integrated Media had already done around the house. Tell us what makes your system so much fun to use.
Yeah, Jay, Integrated Media has taken care of us from day one. Everything they do looks fantastic. Everything they do sounds fantastic, and everything runs seamlessly when it comes comes to our smart home. In today's day and age of streaming everything, having a strong Wi-Fi connection throughout the house is critical, and integrated media is the best in the business at setting you and your family up with everything you could ever need.
Now, I don't know about you, but having an outdoor system that looks and sounds like the indoors is better than I could have imagined.
Yeah, one of the perks of living in the Midlands of South Carolina is enjoying time outdoors virtually year-round. From weatherproof mounted televisions to outdoor speaker systems, integrated media is the standard when it comes to outdoor entertainment. They're the only people I would ever recommend when it comes to outfitting your smart home indoors or out.
Work with the best in the business, and that's our friends at Integrated Media. Grayson and I can't recommend them highly enough. See their work on Facebook and Instagram, then call them up at 803-948-8327 and get Integrated Media into your home today.
We keep the clutter out of your gutter. Call on the gutter man.
The Guttermen have been providing top-notch service throughout the Midlands for over 47 years, building their business on relationships, not gimmicks. And you can call them locally, not a 1-800 number. Call them today at 791-7147 and look for the guys in the powder blue trucks.
We keep the clutter out of your gutter. Call on the gutter man.
Voting is not a privilege, it's your right. A person with a disability deserves full access to the voting process. Disability Rights South Carolina encourages you to head to the polls on November 5th. From curbside voting to tabletop placement for wheelchair accessibility and audio ballot via headphones, voting is for everyone. If you have a disability-related voting problem in South Carolina, call 866-275-7273 or visit disabilityrightssc.com/voting.
Hey Gamecocks, Ben Cato of Cato's Power Equipment. Wanted to take a quick second to remind you that our annual Black Friday sale is right around the corner. We've already got dozens of mores at closeout pricing, like Toro Grandstands and Gravely Pro Turns starting at $76.99. But November 18th through November 29th, every more on our lot will be marked down hundreds to thousands of dollars, with special pricing available on most steel equipment. Mark your calendar. This sale only comes once a year. Come see us at Cato's Power Equipment.
It's the Love Chevy High School Scoreboard Show
with Justin Hall and Elijah Campbell on 107.5 The Game.
Welcome back into the Love Chevy High School Scoreboard Show right here on The Game. Justin Hall, Elijah Campbell, Ed Bird behind the glass on your Friday night. We are looking at a tight ball game between Saluda and Strom Thurmond right now. After that conversion on 3rd and 18, next play, we talk about quick change opportunities. No, that's just convert and rip out your heart. Let's go 33 yards on one play for a touchdown. So Strom Thurmond back in the game, 14-13. Kick the extra point. And it is all right. You're tied, except it got blocked. So Saluda still leads 14-13.
Special teams.
Special plays, special players, the whole thing. Yeah, that game, again, we've seen enough extra points blocked or missed this year, and it comes back to haunt you. They could cause problems.
It could. I mean, that's currently keeping Dorman from being tied to the Gaffney right now.
Yes, it is.
PATs, those can loom.
Yes, it is. While we have a minute, and while we're waiting on more scores to roll in, because, again, some of these games are getting tight, and we're getting closer and closer to that one time of night we love more than any on a Friday night. That's the witching hour.
That's right. Oh, we're getting so close to it.
So close. Want to look at some scores. Louisville and Boston College are playing right now. I think Boston College up 20-7 on Louisville.
At the break.
Good gracious. Bill O'Brien's got that. Billy O's got that team playing well.
Guy can coach, man. Maybe he's not built to coach in the NFL anymore, but the guy, as an NFL coach, won
he wasn't
how
bad.
many straight division titles with the Houston Texans?
Yeah, they were good. Just couldn't get over the hump in the playoffs.
But I love him as a college coach, dude. He's a program builder. What he did, his coaching job at Penn State.
Was it 1 year or was it 2?
Where?
At Penn State.
Might have been 2. Okay. I think it was a couple of years.
He put the names on the jerseys. I do remember that.
Yeah, that's cool. Welcome to the 21st century, dudes. But that's... Like, the thing with Bill O'Brien, man, that rebuilding job after the scandal that broke there is one of the more impressive turnarounds in the history of the sport that just doesn't get talked about as much anymore because Bill O'Brien became a kind of a villain because he basically ran the AFC South for a half a decade or so and then had some failed stops elsewhere. most notably being the offensive coordinator at Alabama, where that did not turn out the way they hoped. But on all honesty, the guy gets clowned a lot, but he can coach. And I think at a place like Boston College is probably the perfect place for someone like Bill O'Brien.
Agreed. So that game's going on. The best game of the night is going to be in Las Vegas between UNLV and Boise State. It's got the best player in the country playing in it. It's got two group of 5 teams that are trying to position themselves for a playoff berth. Then you've got Southern Cal and Rutgers tonight at 11 Eastern on Fox.
Big 10 after dark.
Yeah.
Who
on a Friday night.
Brand that?
It's right. It comes on right after Game 1 of the World Series in LA. Who'd have thunk? The Trojans of Southern Cal are last in the Big Ten. No, they're 16th of 18. They got 18 teams in that conference.
They're thankful that Purdue is still winless in conference play.
True. Like, they're worse than Nebraska. Anyway, Southern Cal's 3-4. Gamecock fans, would you have thought your record would be better than theirs?
If I would have told you that at the beginning of the season, I think you'd be pretty juiced.
So.
You'd be pretty juiced, especially if I told you that Southern Cal beat LSU to start the season.
Correct, and it looked good doing it. But then look at the schedule. They had to fly to Michigan to play Michigan, fly back home to play Wisconsin, then fly to the Midwest again to play Minnesota, then back to California to play Penn State, then all the way across the country to play Maryland, now back to play Rutgers on a Friday night. At least this next one's a very Pac-12-ish game after this one. They get Washington in Washington.
A traditional.
Then they go to
matchup.
Nebraska. Then they come all the way back to play UCLA. But we're all about the kids. Hey, we're the Big Ten. We care about the kids and the student-athlete experience. Okay.
Or the student-athlete experience we can buy ourselves.
Right. Let's see. Your Saturday slate. Ohio State hosts Nebraska. Remember when everyone thought that might be a decent game?
See, and
it's like people forgot that it's like people forgot that Marcus Satterfield was their OC.
It's really funny because I still thought that could have been a really good game. And the Illinois lost in overtime because Illinois turned out to be kind of good.
They're good.
They're good.
I agree with that.
This
last
excusable.
one was rough.
But Buddy getting beat by 49 to Indiana.
Hey, Coach Siggs got it going. Coach Siggs got it. Google him.
Yeah, he wins. Google that man.
Oh, let's see. Another one. Ooh, how about this one? Noon. Notre Dame goes to Navy at MetLife Stadium. The midshipmen are 24th in the country. That's a top 25 battle.
Somehow a 13.5 point spread in favor of Notre Dame.
Don't understand
I think Navy covers that. I don't think Navy wins.
I think they cover.
Because ultimately the talent, I think, wins out for Notre Dame. But you know what? I do believe in magic. I think we can have some magic here. And this would be awesome because what I really want, because we can, even if Notre Dame wins this game, that's not going to take away from the potential of having Notre Dame, or not Notre Dame, Navy and Army play in the AAC championship game and then have to play each other a week later for Army-Navy game. This still wouldn't take that away. However, I'm really cheering for Navy here because I want them to both meet in this conference title game undefeated.
I agree.
That would be sexy.
That's America. In an election year.
Yeah.
Indiana hosts Washington. College Game Day is there. College Game Day's in Bloomington, and that game's on the Big Ten Network. Oh, my gosh.
Whoa,
Chef's kiss.
wait, what?
Chef's kiss.
I didn't know that game. I knew that's where game day is, as it should be.
That game's on the Big Ten Network. Ole Miss hosts Oklahoma. That game seemed like it would be good in August.
Yeah.
And then the game
August,
started.
you're looking at that game, and you're like, yeah,
if Ole Miss loses that game.
Oh, boy.
Mail it in, folks. Season's over.
Disaster class, if that ends up being the case.
Virginia Tech hosts Georgia Tech. These are some really good games tomorrow. Virginia hosts North Carolina. Mississippi State hosts Arkansas. Could Mississippi State get a conference win? I think they can.
No, they can. They can. And that is not me taking a dump on Arkansas, but Mississippi State
has played well.
Has played really well.
They played Texas close early.
Yeah.
Georgia.
They put up 31 on Georgia.
A&M.
At A&M, they kept arm's length with A&M
the whole way.
For the entire game.
Yep.
And it was a good atmosphere. I think their offense is figuring it out. I knew it would just take time because you hire an offensive mind like Jeff Lebby, a guy whose offenses are successful everywhere he goes.
Right.
They're always going to score points. This is his first time as the CEO and the head man, so there could be a little bit of an adjustment period, and the cupboard was completely bare when he got there. Like in the last commercial break, I was just scrolling through Twitter, right, and I saw somebody who was tiering out SEC teams and put Mississippi State in the tier of waiting to see who their next head coach would be. Shut up. No, they're not. They're not.
No.
Jeff
Not a
Levy's
fan of
seat isn't even remotely warm.
No.
I mean,
No,
this thing
it's
is
first
freezing
year,
cold.
and I don't have time for
And they're
conversations
growing.
like that.
They're growing. A little bit of nuance here should be appreciated, folks. Yes, Mississippi State will finish last in the SEC this year. Sure. They will. Guarantee it. Book it. Say it now. They will finish last in the SEC. But they're showing some growth. And you know what? A win against a good Arkansas team, because this Arkansas team is good.
Good.
Would be an incredible sign, incredible good first big win for Jeff Lebby at Mississippi State. I mean, that's the hardest coaching job outside of Vanderbilt in the conference, and you just knew it wouldn't happen immediately.
The number one team in the land, the Oregon Ducks, host Illinois at 3:30. That's a conference game. Alabama, number 15 team in the country, hosts Missouri, the number 21 team in the country. Is Brady Cook going to play? I don't think so. Alabama is a 15.5-point favorite. Listen, AP voters, it's okay. You don't have to rank Missouri anymore.
Well, this was a game in which they finally don't get ranked.
They've only got one loss. I don't care. They're not one of the 25 best teams in the country. South Carolina would be favored by Missouri on a neutral field right now. Right now. Go to the sites. I'm telling you. They'll probably give you that number. Texas goes to Vanderbilt. That's a top 25 matchup.
Somehow. Army, Navy, Vanderbilt, all ranked in the top 25, baby.
When was the last time? Who was the president the last time Army and Navy were both ranked in the top 25? At 7 o'clock, I'll let that linger for you. Okay. Miami hosts Florida State. Ugh. Ugh. The game of the week.
Eisenhower?
It was. Good job. Nailing it on the trivia tonight is Elijah Campbell.
Oh, I'm going to ride that high all night.
Number 8. LSU goes to College Station to take on A&M. They're number 14 team in the country. The Aggies come to Columbia next week. You might know about that. SMU goes to Duke.
Smooth.
SMU is an 11.5-point favorite over the Dukies. SMU is 6-1. And here's where I set you up. We got to get a break here in a minute. This is our last conversation about college football, maybe for the night. Who you taking in the ACC? To win the conference, Miami, undefeated in conference. Clemson, undefeated in conference. Or SMU, undefeated in conference. I will let you know, SMU plays neither Miami or Clemson. Clemson does not play SMU or Miami.
Conference
shocking. That's how scheduling works.
Clemson does not big.
Clemson does not meet Miami. Clemson does not meet SMU. Miami doesn't meet either of them either.
If I had to choose, I'm just going to choose who I just think is the best team, the best well-rounded team.
Go ahead and say it.
That's going to be Clemson.
Yep.
That's the best well-rounded team right now.
Everyone buried them when Georgia took them out behind the woodshed and shoved them into a wood chipper in week 1.
Fargo style.
Georgia hasn't played that well since, by the way. And here, you know, if he wants to use it, he can use the little old Clemson line right now because no one's paying attention.
And they're just quietly top 10.
They're quietly top 10, just beating everybody that they're supposed to beat. Stop yelling at your phone or your radio. I know. They're supposed to beat them, and they are.
Well, they're beating the hell out of them.
And Kate Klubnik looks good.
They're moving the ball really well. And that's
the playoffs.
That's the thing with Klubnik, too, man. Like, they've been begging for a little bit of development with that kid, right?
It's there. This is Garrett Riley's offense. You can watch it. This is not Dabo's offense anymore.
At the very end of the year he came in, and when he relieved DJ Uiagalelei, he looked a certain way, so that's your baseline. And then all of last year, he was never better than the baseline.
Right.
And that's where the frustration is. That's where the frustration was, and rightfully so.
Sure.
It's exactly where the frustration should be. And then you watch the first game against Georgia, and you're like, oh, my God, the guy hasn't gotten a lick better. Since he, since Dabo made the move to replace DJ with him, and then ever since that game, he's done nothing but throw touchdowns and play really well. So you got to hand it to the kid, man. He's committed himself to finding the role on that team of managing the game well, running that offense, playing to its strengths, and Garrett Riley's done a fantastic job of being able to do the same thing and figuring out those strengths and being able to actually utilize them. I hate to say it, but that's the best team in the ACC right now. And if I had to put money on who wins between those three teams, who wins that conference and gets that automatic bye in the college football playoff, it's that team in the upstate.
I think that's going to happen. We got updates from Saluda and Strom Thurmond. We got updates from Hammond and Ben Lippen and more next on the Love Chevy High School Scoreboard Show on the game.
First, a word with my friends over at Lumos. They posed the question, right? Why reboot the internet when you can rebuild it? Because the internet as we know it is built for some antiquated things, like landlines ruling and cable TV. Even though a lot of people still watch cable TV, it's not as popular as it once was. Streaming is the future. It's time for internet as we don't know it, where uploads are as fast as downloads. Our digital life is never interrupted. It's time for 100% fiber optic internet, and that's what Lumos provides, built from the ground up. This is an internet that's built for communities where we live, work, thrive, and grow. This is an internet built for small businesses that want to make a big impact. An internet built for families with smartphones, video games, voice assistants, tablets, nanny cams, robot vacuums, you name it. All online, all at the same time. Lumos. Internet built for the future. See your future at lumosfiber.com/future.
Fall is here, and with it comes all the traditional family outings like tailgating, mountain and beach adventures, and road trips to grandma's over the holidays. Wherever you go, go with great gas mileage, safety, technology, comfort, and style in a new Honda from Honda of Columbia. Right now, you'll get more for your trade than ever, and as always, you'll enjoy their no-hassle pricing, no-pressure buying experience. Honda of Columbia, your friendly family Honda dealer since 1978. Highway 378 at I-20.
AAA Heating and Air is on the hunt to find the oldest AC unit in our Midland service area. Do you think it could be yours? If you do, it could pay off. AAA Heating and Air and My Oldest AC contest is kicking off, and you have a chance to win a new HVAC system for your home. Just head over to their website, myoldAir.com, and complete the online entry form. AAA Heating and Air will draw a winner at random for every 100 entries. It really is that easy. Contest is limited time only. Residents in the AAA Heating and Air service area are eligible to enter. See the terms and rules on their website for a full list of contest rules.
I'm Fritz Drescher, owner of Atlantic Windows and Doors. We've been in the Columbia area for over 40 years and have been your trusted partner in enhancing home comfort, beauty, and energy efficiency. How do we do it? By delivering top-notch product from the nation's leading window and door manufacturers. Expect superior style, tailored to your needs, unmatched quality, and unbeatable value. Plus, our dedicated team handles installation. No third-party contractors. Discover more at awdsc.com.
Hey guys, it's Jay Phillips for the Men's Clinic. Too often, guys won't go to the doctor when they're feeling off, whether it's because they think they can tough it out or because they just don't want to talk about it. Don't be that guy. Get to feeling better after you see Dr. Dan Balknight and his team at the Men's Clinic. They are experts in health care for men and dedicated to making you feel like yourself again. You can schedule a free consultation by calling 803-875-MENS and learn more online at themensclinicsc.com.
It's the Love Chevy High School Scoreboard Show
with Justin Hall and Elijah Campbell on 107.5 The Game.
Little Zeppelin bringing us back in here on the Love Chevy High School Scoreboard Show. You would know it as soon as the voice started, wouldn't you?
The dead giveaway every time, man.
Welcome back into the Love Chevy High School Scoreboard Show. Justin Hall, Elijah Campbell, Ed Bird with you on a Friday night. It is 9:34 on the East Coast in an exuberant downtown Columbia. Downtown Columbia is lively tonight. Folks realizing I don't have to worry about a game tomorrow. They're just cutting loose on a Friday night. You know who else is cutting loose? Hunter, Kiner, Tyler. Let's go to the Love Chevy phone lines, 803-404-6100. Roger joins us again. Roger, what you got?
I got full game score. First of all, OW 39, Battle Creek 13, late in third, Umber Prep 34, Patrick Harris 21, 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter, Calhoun County 14, Richmond Nutton in the third, Hong Tyler of Nices 38, Blackwood Hill 6, late in the third.
Late in the third. Make that note. It is late in the third, and you're leading by 32. Thank you, Roger. We appreciate it. The Fighting Rogers. You got to unmute your mic in order for people to hear you. The Fighting Rogers leading by 32 over a fellow 6-1 team.
Chris Daughtry tried to tell us that it's not over, but I'm going to disagree. No matter how much you try to do it right this time around, I think this one's over.
Yeah, they always talk about, the fat lady. Well, don't say anything till the fat lady sings. Well, there's someone's warming up her vocal cords right now.
She may not be singing right now, but she is doing the vocal exercises.
And
New York.
Newberry is up 35-14.
Oh, running away with it.
On WJ Keenan. By the way, Sean Elliott's in attendance in that ball game. Thank you to Chris Deering for tweeting that out. Newberry High School Bulldog tight end Jamel House is a Gamecock commit. So, gosh, I'm looking at this picture. I'm sorry, but that man is physically imposing. That's Sean Elliott? That man is physically imposing.
That he's giving, yeah. It almost looks like
he's happy in that picture.
That's his happy picture.
That's his happy picture.
So I was driving to, it was one of Shane's pressers during the week. This might have been 2 weeks ago. Or I think it might have been the last one. Yeah, pre-Oklahoma. And I saw Sean Elliott jogging around the facility.
Oof.
And I looked at him and I was like, man, bad news for Brick Walls today. He woke up. Bad news for Brick Walls in Columbia, South Carolina, baby. Sean Elliott is out and about.
One of my favorite assistant coaches in the history of Gamecock football, maybe Gamecock athletics, is Sean Elliott. Up there with Chad Holbrook, up there with Monty Lee. Legitimately, just all around good guy.
For the biggest days of my life, whether it be a marriage one day or a wedding one day, a birth of a child, any type a job promotion or type, whatever it is, I want that man to hype me up beforehand.
You're going to get headbutted.
Absolutely. Okay. I need to be a little concussed for this.
With a helmet on. This Batesburg-Leesville Pillion game has gone final, 48-0.
Mercifully.
Batesburg-Leesville wins it. Woo, Spartanburg laying it on Burns. 4:17 left to go in the third quarter. 42-7.
Oh, wow. Well, I wasn't expecting that. I mean, I figured Spartanburg would probably win because the thing with Burns is, too, without playing any home games this year, and they're maybe not as good as past Burns teams have been.
Right.
But the road fatigue, I figured, would have to be a thing. And that's why this team was such I don't want to say an experiment or a guinea pig by any means, but this is like hey, what if, dude, every team had to play all their games on the road? This is one of those things where we got to find that answer out. If a good team like Burns, because even in down years, that's still a really good team, had to play all of their games on the road. And you saw at the beginning of the year, they played some really good teams. They just got beat because they were playing better teams. They got better, and now I think there might be some signs of fatigue because, yes, I would expect Spartanburg to beat Burns. I did not expect Spartanburg on the surface to beat Burns 42-7. And given everything that's happened in that part of the state, too, I totally understand just life fatigue, right, at this point in time. But there's something to be said about what's going on with all the road games and that maybe the travel fatigue, maybe just the nature of what their season is getting to them. Because they're a team about 2 weeks ago, Justin, we said this is a team that violates Bill Parcells' rule of thumb of you are what your record is because this team just played a really tough schedule, man.
Fake rule.
That was a team that was better than what their record was.
Yeah,
and
agreed.
There might be a little bit of a regression to that mean because now I think the road fatigue that we're late in October.
Yep.
Given everything that's happened in the high school football season this year in the state of South Carolina, I feel like that road fatigue is starting to show its ugly face a little bit.
Yeah, 100%. There's no question about that. So Strom Thurmond scored a touchdown to make it 14-13. They missed the extra point. It was blocked. 14-13 stayed the score. Saluta's Bray Williams, a 56-yard touchdown run. 21-13.
Oh, that's how you bounce back, Saluda. That's how you bounce back.
I'm just going to give you a score here because this got out of hand fast. 49-10, Hammond over Ben Lippen. Remember when it was 21-10 and we thought, arm's length?
We said Ben Lippen has been scoring. It has been scoring.
28 points have been scored since then. And when did we say that? At like 20 after the hour?
It was not long ago. That was maybe 2 segments ago. Yeah. Maybe.
It hasn't been that long at all since we
channel our inner Ron Burgundy again. Be like, whoa, that got out of hand quick. That escalated quickly.
Oh, yeah.
Brent killed a guy.
With a trident. Crescent 14, Chesney 10, 4.5 left to go in that ball game. End of the third quarter in Darlington. You're my hour. Darlington Falcons and Crestwood are tied at 14.
Oh, put the 4s up. Sorry, Ja Morant. The Fighting Ja Morants at Crestwood are tied. They were up 14-0, I believe, to start that game. And Darlington has scored 14 straight to tie it.
Tied it at before half.
Wow.
Yeah.
Don't ever count out our Darlington Falcons. No,
By the way,
ever.
By the way, the Los Angeles Dodgers of Los Angeles have taken the lead in Game 1 of the World Series.
They strike first.
How about this one? For all the talk of offense, it was on a sac fly. The Dodgers lead 1-0 in the 6th. Giancarlo Stanton is at the plate. Juan Soto's gone 0 for 3 tonight.
Oof. Not a good start.
Aaron Judge is 0 for 3 with 3 Ks.
Oh, we're one away from the Golden Sombrero, baby. A Game 1 of the World Series Golden Sombrero. Oh, my God. I think Giancarlo Stanton just hit one to the moon.
Yeah, he did. That one's gone.
Yep,
Yankees
that ball's
lead.
in orbit.
Yankees lead 2-1. Wow. And how quickly, I love playoff baseball, how quickly this game just changed.
God, he crushed that.
By the way, they left Jack Flaherty in maybe a little bit too long. The average Dodgers starting pitcher has lasted about 3 2/3 innings in their starts in the playoffs. They don't go long.
Dave Roberts, what are you doing?
The analytics, 412, 117 off the bat. I do have an update here from our buddy Ian. Carolina Forest leads Myrtle Beach 52-31.
52-31.
Yes. And Jaron Fox is the running back for Carolina Forest. He had a 54-yard reception out of the backfield earlier, and he just had a 1-yard touchdown run. Jaron Fox has over 400 yards of offense in this game. Himself.
Player of the night?
I think
Player
so.
of the night? I think running away with that. I don't know if I need to see anything else, maybe unless we have some just incredible late-game heroics from a game that we've had our eye on,
right?
Like Saluda and Strom Thurmond. But don't award many player of the nights to other players from outside of the Midlands. I think that's our leader in the pack right now. Anytime you get 400 yards of total offense yourself and you help your team score 52, put up half a hundo on the scoreboard, yeah, I think that deserves some additional recognition.
The fourth quarter has started. Fourth quarter's well underway. 5:28 to go in the ball game. R&E and York are tied at 20.
York was up 20-7,
and York just missed a field goal.
Will Wilson, man, don't count the guy out. I mean, it's Halloween season, right? So bear with me. Maybe Will Wilson is doing his best Jason impersonation.
Well done.
Where you think he's dead, you think it's gone, you think the movie's over, you've done all this crazy stuff to get this villain out of your lives, but you can't count him out. He's just going to show up again at some point in the movie, but minus the grisly murder stuff. But Will Wilson committing, football comebacks akin to a Jason comeback in a Friday the 13th horror film.
I would agree. That's a good comp.
They're terrible films, by the way. I am a connoisseur of the horror film genre.
Most of them are.
And I even have a soft spot and appreciation for some of the bad ones. I do find those to be exceptionally bad.
Yeah, they aren't good. They aren't good. And they're not exceptionally scary either.
No. They're just nasty.
We can have
those
that,
are just nasty.
We can have that conversation another time. But even the Halloween films with Michael Myers, I don't find them scary.
No, I don't think they've aged as well. I think that's the thing. They have not aged as well.
Yeah.
And my horror film taste is a little more, has gotten refined to where I love like a good psychologically terrifying film where the plot of the film and me being an empath, putting myself in the shoes of some characters, being like, ooh, this is a hopeless situation. That's the stuff that gets me going. Don't do gore.
I've got a good book for you to read if you read.
I do, yes. I have not read fiction in a while.
It's worth it.
But
I promise.
I do love reading Stephen King. I like things that have like pretty gripping plots, and especially if it does have a little bit of like a spooky context. Yes, I will take that suggestion.
They do say it is spooky season around here.
It absolutely is.
I've heard that. Newberry now leads 42-14. Going to the fourth quarter, Saluda is up on Strom Thurmond. I wanted to make sure I get that right. Saluda up on Strom Thurmond. We'll wrap up hour number 3 of the program right after this on the Love Chevy High School Scoreboard Show on the Game.
Hey guys, Jay Phillips here for Integrated Media. You know they've been the Midlands leader in home theater for the past 2 decades. From installation of amazing 4K televisions and surround sound systems to Wi-Fi that works everywhere, no one else compares to their customer service and quality. And now the guys at Integrated Media have expanded their brand to provide a state-of-the-art golf simulator experience next to their offices in Chapin. Pro Swing is what it's called. The golf simulators by Golf Zone have automatic tees. You don't have to bend over to set up your next shot. Amazing swing plate moving up to 24 different directions for a truly lifelike experience. The playing surface has simulated greenside and fairway bunkers, even 2 different cuts of rough to bring a real-life experience inside with 68 degrees of air conditioning every day. One golfer can play 18 holes in about an hour, 2 in 2, with selections of non-alcoholic drinks, domestic and craft beer. It's fun for the entire family. To book a tee time or to get golf lesson packages, visit ProSwingColumbia.com or call 803-948-8327. Have a blast with Pro Swing and Integrated Media.
Fall is here, and with it comes all the traditional family outings like tailgating, mountain and beach adventures, and road trips to grandma's over the holidays. Wherever you go, go with great gas mileage, safety, technology, comfort, and style in a new Honda from Honda of Columbia. Right now, you'll get more for your trade than ever, and as always, you'll enjoy their no-hassle pricing, no-pressure buying experience. Honda of Columbia, your friendly family Honda dealer since 1978. Highway 378 at I-20.
At Atkins Law, we believe who you hire matters, but don't take our word for it. Hear it from our clients.
From the front desk to the paralegals answering my questions to the one I have in my back, I couldn't ask for a better team of professionals.
From my first phone call to meeting Joe in person, I knew I was going to be in good hands.
Holly has a great practice, and her various experiences brings tons of knowledge to each of her clients.
Remember, who you hire matters.
Call Atkins Law, 803-251-6406.
It's the Love Chevy High School Scoreboard Show
with Justin Hall and Elijah Campbell on 107.5 The Game.
So we got Ed Bird in a groove now, slinging the tracks over there. Ed Bird behind the glass at Master Control. Justin Hall, Elijah Campbell wrapping up hour number 3.
Ed Bird, no stranger to slinging the tracks.
No, he's not. No, he's not. That's Zeppelin back to back.
On Saturdays, Ed Bird's got his own radio show himself.
That's
he's spitting out tunes.
100% true. We're waiting more scores to follow. Giancarlo Stanton. And Freddie Freeman, I got the clip here. Here's the clip. Let's go to Roger on the Love Chevy phone lines while I do. Elijah, take a look at Freddie Freeman's reaction to that. Roger, what you got for us?
Oh, he knew.
Yeah, I got 5-game score. First of all, the high score tonight. Hartsville 70, Lakewood something 8. Calhoun County 14, Richmond nothing, fourth quarter. OW 46, Battle Creek 13, fourth quarter. Auburn Prep 41, Patrick Henry 28, with 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Hong Kong Town Nieces, 7th ranked versus number 3 ranked Blackwood, 44, Blackwood hit a 6, with 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
Wow. Foot meet gas pedal for Hunter, Kiner, Tyler. They are not letting
and
up.
Roger, for that matter.
And Roger. 5 scores. He gave us 5 scores.
Take that, Brian Glenn.
God, this is a, yeah. I mean, Brian, yeah, eat your heart out, man, in pizza. Because that's what I call bringing it.
Oh, yeah.
Brian, if you were watching on the stream, I would love for you to see our reaction when Roger leads off with, I've got 5 scores for you. 5 of them, baby. He ain't playing around.
He's not playing around. By the way, Hartsville hanging 70. 70.
Roger's right about that, too. Yeah, that's definitely going to be the highest score of the night. I don't foresee anybody passing that.
96 is close. They've got 56 points. I'm keeping a watch on this now. We got a good game between Lancaster and Camden. Lancaster leads 22-21.
Let a naysayer know-ister, if you will, for anybody who watches College Game Day.
You had me going, Reese. You had me going. That's one of my favorite clips from Game Day of all time. That's even better than Corso dropping the bomb of all bombs.
The F-bomb when they were at Houston.
And then calling a kid a midget. Like, all of those things get beat by that moment in the Rose Bowl last year. Because for everyone who wants to rag on McAfee, it makes it infinitely better, and it makes it more fun.
Him being him is one of the reasons that makes that.
Oh, yeah.
Really funny.
Oh, yeah. He just interrupts the read. The professionals at work here.
We would never.
would never do that. Strom Thurmond just scored.
Oh.
I've got 21. I've got 21 to 19. Yep, 5-yard touchdown run. Oh, but they went for. There's 11:28 to go in the fourth quarter. It's 21 to 19. So there's 11:28 left. So now this is strategy here. Do you go for 2 in the tie now to chase the points, or do you kick the extra point? You just had one blocked recently to cut to a one-point game. What do you do?
Go for dose, baby.
He goes for dose.
I go for dose.
Ah, look at you. You've been watching too much college football on TV. And they did go for 2.
That's right.
They did go for 2. Sponsors matter. 21 to 19, the 2-point conversion attempt failed.
I live with it.
So you're down 2.
So their defense gets you a stop. My thing is with this, too, with this strategy, is there's no guarantee you get the ball back. Yes, there's 11 minutes left, but there's no guarantee that you get the ball back in an advantageous situation.
Mm-hmm.
And if they still score a touchdown and kick the extra point, because I don't think my thing is I would dare them to go for 2 and try to win it right there.
Sure.
Dare you to have to do that. And if you score and kick the extra point, you're still a touchdown and 2-point conversion away from tying it.
Mm-hmm.
I've always chased the points to tie, man, always, because there's no guarantee you get the ball back. There's no guarantee you get a really good drive going to be able to put you in field goal range. There's just no guarantee that you're going to get another crack at that apple, right?
Agreed.
So I'm always going to be one that in that situation I'm going for 2 to tie. I think Strom Thurmond did the correct thing right there to try to tie it.
So they're down 21 to 19. Louisville is scored a touchdown and kicked the extra point. They're down 10. It's 27-17 Boston College. So that 6th inning's getting kind of wild in Game 1 of the World Series, and we're a high school sports show, but I believe this is important to just note. Giancarlo Stanton, formerly Mike Stanton of the Marlins.
The artist formerly known as Mike Stanton. If you know, you know.
Hit a 2-run, the AP tells me I can't say dinger, so he hit a 2-run dinger to make it 2-1. I don't live by the style book.
No, I live by the Elijah Campbell fun style book, which is all the exaggeration, all of the hyperbole.
Yes.
Losses are disasters, and I will call them whatever the hell I want.
There are 2 outs now in the 6th inning. Jack Flaherty has been chased from this ball game. Tommy Edman, a 2021 Gold Glover at short, has committed yet another error tonight in this inning. The bases are loaded for the Yankees, and Alex Verdugo, who's 1 for 2, is at the plate with 2 outs. The Yankees could blow this game open. They do not. He strikes out. So you escape, but this game just got turned on its head by Giancarlo Stanton, by the way. How about this one? In his last 21 plate appearances, his last 21 at-bats in the postseason, Giancarlo Stanton, he has 0 singles, 0 doubles, 0 triples, but he's got 5 homers.
That's the most modern baseball stat line I believe I've ever heard.
Any coach, any manager from like the 90s is pulling his hair out. Final score in Conway, Socastee wins 10-0.
Ooh, low scoring game.
Richard Wynn, they beat Lawrence Academy 62-12.
Oh, Lawrence Academy got up got not big because they scored 12 points, but they got up early, and we were kind of looking at each other like, is this the game where Richard Wynn becomes Richard Lose? No, it's not actually, and they told me to shove it. They scored 62 points, and I guess who's not going to be getting a visit from Ed Bird tonight?
That would be Richard Wynn. That would be Richard Wynn. Let's see here. Carolina Forest up 52-38 on Myrtle Beach. 3:51 left to go in the fourth quarter there.
So much scoring. That's a track meet right there. We have a track meet breakout at a football game.
Ashley Ridge trails James Island 24-20. Good ball game going on there. First time I've seen that score.
Possible hangover game for Ashley Ridge after that really close, heartbreaking loss to a rival in Somerville. I think Ashley Ridge is probably a better football team than James Island, but I mean, losing a game that you're probably supposed to win after a heartbreaking loss, it has hangover game just written all over it.
John Paul II falls to Hilton Head Christian 42-6. The final score there. Newberry is putting it on William Jefferson Keenan 45-14. Newberry
Ron Burgundy game. That escalated quickly.
South Point takes care of Drea tonight 58-10. Over at Memorial Stadium, which is, if you're watching on the YouTube stream, that way. 58-10, just right down there. Let's see. Saluta's got the ball back, starting at their own 36, up by 2. Careful. 55-yard touchdown for Ben Lippen. It's 49-17, Hammond, up on the Falcons of Ben Lippen. Oh, Saluta's got it first and goal.
Wow, that also escalating quickly. Now, if you're Saluda, do you go for 2 for the dagger? I think I just go for 1. I just go for 1. I don't know if I think I play it safe, especially if I trust my kicker.
I play it safe and go and just kick the extra point. You don't need to do that right now. I don't think you need to do that right now. That's just my inclination.
Because I also don't want it to. I don't want them to be able to make the decision where they score a touchdown and they can go for 2 to beat me.
I agree. And there's your touchdown. 3 yards out. It is 28-19 with 9:11 to go in the fourth quarter. They kick the extra point.
Okay.
So you are down by 9. It's a 2-score ball game. So there's really no need to go for 2 there in the dagger because you're already up by 2 scores with 9 minutes left.
27-19?
28-19.
28-19. Oh, it's 21. Oh.
It was 21-19.
I thought it was 20.
Yeah.
I'm an idiot.
21-19, 7
Just throw
points,
everything
28-19.
I said out the window.
He nailed the Eisenhower thing earlier, though.
I could tell you who the president was the last time Army and Navy were both in the AP top 25, but heaven forbid I try to do a little bit of arithmetic on the air.
Could guess that Will Wilson has 115 total touchdowns in his career.
Pulled that one out of somewhere I can't talk about. Deep inside of me, but can't do basic math on air. This is the most Elijah Campbell thing to ever happen in my career. This is about as on brand as it gets, I'm afraid.
Rebels starting their own drive now at their own 27, down by 9. 9 minutes to go in the ball game. Probably got to score quick here if you want. Hour number 4, fourth and final one, coming up here on the Love Chevy High School Scoreboard Show on the game.
Hey guys, Jay Phillips here for my good friends at Integrated Media, Columbia's leader in today's technology for your home and business. They've got TVs from Sony and Samsung, surround sound systems from Dolby, Sonos wireless speakers, Wi-Fi that works everywhere, even cameras to see what's going on around your home. They've got you covered. Call Integrated Media at 803-948-8327. Set up a time for them to come out to your house and talk with you about your wants and your needs. You want to cut the cord? They can help. Want one of those beautiful Samsung frame TVs that looks like art when it's not turned on? They do that too. Plus fantastic outdoor systems that let you enjoy your favorite team, movie, TV show, or music while you also enjoy our beautiful South Carolina weather. You can even stop in and see them at the Experience Center, 105 Snapdragon Court in Chapin, and get a real idea of what these things look like in your home. Do what I've done, and many of your friends and neighbors. Call 803-948-8327 and get home theater like never before from Integrated Media. This year, Roy and Dana Finley are shaking things up at AAA Heating and Air. For the next 12 months, they're telling their customers no. Get a new system purchase with no payments and no interest for an entire year. You heard that right. Purchase a new system now and make no payments for a full 12 months. So do what I did. Call AAA Heating and Air for your free estimate and tell them Jay Phillips sent you.
AAA Air when you need us. AAA Heating and Air.
Get ready to smile because Herndon Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy dealer, is offering an amazing deal right now. Get up to $20,000 off new Silverados. Yes, you heard that right. Up to $20,000 off. Don't wait. Head over to HerndonChevy.com today and drive home in the truck of your dreams. Chevy, together let's drive.
Herndon Chevrolet, Herndon makes you wanna smile.
Call 803-510-5447 for complete details.
WNKT FM Eastover, Columbia.
The home of the national champion Gamecocks women's basketball team. Congrats, y'all.
A Cumulus media station. It's the Love Chevy High School Scoreboard Show.
With Justin Hall and Elijah Campbell on 107.5. The Game.
Welcome back into the Love Chevy High School Scoreboard Show, fourth and final hour of the program. We've had fun. It's been a good night. Some would call it a light high school football schedule. I call it fun.
Oh, there's no such thing as a light high school football schedule.
Good action going on. No such thing. Saluda up 28-19 over Strom Thurmond with 9 minutes to go in that ball game. We are tracking that game ever so closely. Indian Land, this one's going final. Again, you're going to get final scores as they appear on my Twitter feed, so just be prepared. Indian Land defeats Fort Mill 20-6. That is a final score. If you have a final score, hit us on the Love Chevy phone lines, 803-404-6100. If you're watching on the YouTube stream, I just crinkled my paper because I have a final score, and it comes from the reservation. Ed Bird, need to go ahead and get stretched out.
Get stretched out. Oh, we're gonna get Ed Bird moving.
Dorman 9, Gaffney 7. Final.
Gaffney is about to get a visit from Ed Bird. Ed Bird has a look of disbelief on his face right now. They're about to find him. They're going to find him. They're about to get a very unwanted visit. Ed Bird's coming up to the 15th floor, and he's not happy.
Oh man,
he ain't happy.
So Dorman, let me find this one because
violently ejected.
The last time I saw this game, it was end of third quarter. Gaffney leading 7-6. So let me go find this Gaffney _history on Twitter. Obviously, Elijah and I follow them religiously now.
They are fantastic.
So Dorman fumbled. Gaffney recovered. Nothing came of that. And with 3 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, Dorman kicked a field goal to make it 9-7. The game then hinged on one play. Gaffney had it 4th and 10 at their own 42. They took their final timeout, and then the pass they threw was in the dirt. So your final score, Cavs of Dorman, 9. The Indians of Gaffney, 7.
The Fighting P.J. Halls.
Look at you.
Yeah.
Well done.
Like that.
So that's a college basketball scoop right there.
A little bit of hoops.
Yeah. Wow.
Gaffney ejected from the club so long.
Listen, I'm not I think I might be shocked.
I had a feeling. I had an inkling. I had a feeling that tonight's the night Dorman takes them out. They're improved, man.
When that game was 6-0 at halftime, yeah, sure. But then when Gaffney gets up 7-6 in the third quarter, you thought, okay. Now you score one more, put some space between you, and game over. Don't let teams hang around. Just don't do it.
No, that's when luck happens. I'm telling you, this is one of the best pieces of advice that wasn't just for me. When I played high school basketball, I had a coach named Coach Hurd. Shout out Coach Hurd. No longer coaching Cookeville High School anymore after taking him to a state tournament last year. He's coaching out in Nashville now at Hillsboro. But my man Coach Hurd used to tell us all the time, whenever we'd play teams that we knew we were better than, especially on the road, and if we were underperforming at halftime, he'd get really mad. And I'm going to give you the FCC appropriate version of this. If you mess around against teams that you are better than, you are opening the door for luck to happen. He didn't say luck.
There's a
bull crap to happen.
Well, there's a mess around and find out scale.
Yes. This was before the mess around and find out video came out. This would have been around 2011.
Sure. Yeah.
Coach Hurd would always say you mess around in games against teams that you know you're better than, and you're on the road, and we get to the second half, then you have invited BS to join the party.
There you go.
And that is exactly how I laid it out. Like, luck and BS will happen in those games. And sure enough, there was a couple of games where we got upset because we messed around for 2 quarters of basketball. We go out there, and then those 3-point shots that are open magically don't fall. They don't go in.
Amazing how that happens.
The other team, those 3-point shots that you close out on, that you thought you had well defended, they magically bank in. It's magic how that happens when you let a team that has no business being in the game with you be in the game with you. Gaffney, a lot of times this year, because I firmly believe that is still a top 5 team in the 5A classification because of how good they are at the line of scrimmage. Gaffney let a lot of teams around that maybe didn't have enough business being around. They played with that fire up until this all year because they have not played a normal game all season.
At all.
And they messed around and found out. Yep. And tonight was the find out stage. Dorman was the team good enough to close the door and have enough plays go right to be able to hand Gaffney a loss. I think this is a lesson that Gaffney needs to learn before going into the playoffs. This is also a great testament as to the bounce back year that Dorman's having. Sure. Very disappointing last year. We're not very good at all. And for a high school athletic department that wants to excel in everything, I mean, just look at that campus. You drive by that campus, and you're like, they have to be good at everything. It's a junior college.
They have a separate campus for the freshmen.
It's Dorman University.
Yep.
This is them bouncing back and revitalizing the program a little bit. This is a program win for Dorman.
Got a final score from Lancaster and Camden.
Camden 20 or Noester.
Camden 27, Lancaster 22.
Ooh,
and how did that game end? And how did it get in? How did it end? Camden got a stop at the 1.
Oh, a goal line stand to win a game. Oh, my goodness. Brick wall, baby.
And by the way,
the Great Wall of Camden.
Where did Sean Elliott play?
That'd be Camden. That would be Camden. Oh, Sean Elliott is headbutting so many men with helmets right now. So many of them. And he's not scared of any of that contact.
I got a final score from West Florence and Westwood.
Okay.
West Florence 13, Westwood 8.
Oh, wow. West Florence, great season continues. The dream season's continuing.
And then I got another one for you.
They're fun, man. West Florence is so much more fun this year than I thought they would be. Give it to them.
Hardyville, love their burgers.
Oh, yes, and the biscuits.
Defeats Branchville 23-22. Thank you to Jim on Twitter for that one.
Thanks, Jim.
I didn't have that score at all tonight at any point, but I love a good trip down to Hardyville. Let me tell you. Hammond defeats Ben Lippen 49-17. Joe tells me on Twitter, Falcons held tough in first half but couldn't get any offense going in the second half and gave the Skyhawks short fields, which they turned into 7 points each time. Falcons are now 4-4 on the season. 2 games left. Oh, touchdown, Strom Thurmond.
Ruh-roh, Raggy.
It's 28-25, but the extra point attempt is no good.
Once again, another missed extra point. The PATs, the special teams is killing Strom Thurmond. Now, you know what the S in Strom Thurmond stands for?
Shoot.
I don't know, but it doesn't stand for special teams.
That's fair.
I can eliminate that from the equation.
It is 28-25 with 3 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. The Rebels have missed 2 extra points and a 2-point conversion. That's 4 points. They trail by 3, Elijah. If they had 4 extra points on the board, where would they be in the score?
They'd be winning.
By 1.
I can do that math. That one, I'm a little more apt to answer.
I set you up for that one.
Yes.
I kind of laid it out there for you.
The hand signals help too. Yeah.
3.
I can do the finger math thing pretty well. Kindergarten was kind to me.
I felt like I could help you out there. Wow. Bruised-Ar Gratterall just caught a comebacker to the mound in midair with a bare hand for an out.
That's a bad man.
Whew.
That's a bad man.
Man, gracious. Okay,
bad man, braver than I.
Yeah, I'm not catching that ball barehanded. Let my shortstop handle it. Actually, bail Tommy Edman out. So there are games that are coming down the stretch here. We're watching that game between Saluda and Strom Thurmond. Tucker Hendricks is in from 10 yards out. Christchurch leads Southside with 1:46 to play, 11-7. I'm telling you, Christchurch
origami.
Southside just needs a grand slam. That's all they need.
Just load the bases
Ducks on
up.
the pond.
Yeah. I mean, I've stringed together some hits.
A couple of duck snorts.
Going to channel my inner Joe Morgan here, manufacture some runs.
Liberty leads Landrum 42-24.
It's about time some team named Liberty wins a game this week. Am I right?
Lost to Kennesaw State.
Am I right?
By the way, that score for Strom Thurmond was a 26-yard touchdown pass to Jay Sewell, who has been selected to the Touchstone Energy Cooperatives Bowl because he's a really good football player.
I love a good bowl game.
And that's what football players do that are good. They go to, speaking of good football players, PFF just released this. Kyle Kennard has an 87.3 pass rush grade.
Pretty damn good. They're hard graders.
It's good for 6th in the country. But the true freshman's better. Dylan Stewart has an 88.4. It just comes across my Twitter feed. I figured I'd share.
I would say that is that is a fantastic tidbit of information for Gamecock fans going into a bye week, just knowing that you have the best edge rushing tandem in the country. No big deal.
Huh. I'm telling you, that's just... They're really good. They're really good. And that defensive line is going to be the reason, and that defense as a whole is going to be the reason where they can win every game on their schedule that's remaining. So Dorman wins 9-7 over Gaffney. This from Justin on Twitter, not me.
Different Justin.
Different one. There are many of us.
So, contrary to popular belief, there is more than one Justin.
Correct. And none of us are named after Bieber. Ranson Farr had 3 field goals, and then a turnover on downs with over a minute left sealed the deal. What a win for the Cavaliers, says Justin. Let's go back to the Love Chevy phone lines. Roger is back with us. Go ahead, Roger.
I got a 3-game score. First of all, Calvin County 14, Richmond 6, late in the fourth. OW 46, Battle Creek 13, late in the fourth. The game billed as the game of the year in the Auburn area. Hahn County Tower 59, Blackwood Hill 12. End of score. End of the game.
59-12. Thank you, Roger. Yeah. That was billed as the game of the year in Orangeburg. There's no question about that. It is 59-12. HKT winners over Blackville Hilda. HKT now 7-1.
Wow. Foot meet gas pedal and also belt meet rear end.
Right.
Because that was a whipping.
Excuse me, 8-1.
That was a whipping what happened with Hunter Kiner Tyler against Blackville Hilda. And whenever they got that butt whipping started, they let it continue, and they took that foot and they let it hit the gas pedal, and they floored that sucker. Because they did not let up that entire game. That's a killer mentality. I mean, that's what I like about HKT in this game is they didn't let up. No let up the entire time. That tells me that not only did you prove you're much better than Blackville Hilda in a game that was, with that big of a billing in Orangeburg County, not only are you that much better than them, you have sent a message to other teams in the area of exactly what you are capable of. I like teams that send a message. Hunter Kiner Tyler sent a message.
Yeah. Ridge Spring Monetta, by the way, lost tonight to Calhoun County 14-6. They're 5-3. They've got HKT next week.
God bless them.
That's HKT's final game of the year.
God bless them. That's all I got for them. God bless them. Good luck. Whew. You saw what Hunter Kiner Tyler did tonight. Good luck.
They handle their business. Let's go to Nathan really quick on the Love Chevy phone lines. Nathan wants to talk about. Let's talk about this Camden game, Nathan, because I saw some scores every now and again, but didn't see much flowing with how this game took place and what happened within it. So give us the rundown.
I try to get my heart to slow down. That was a nail biter. So Lancaster Camden got the ball first, got it all the way down inside the 5, but came away empty with points. That was kind of deflating because we know Lancaster likes to run the football and ball control and run the clock. Well, Lancaster goes down and scores, makes it 7-0. They pin Camden back deep on the ensuing kickoff, and Camden gives up a safety, so it's 9-0 right out of the gate. But Camden answered back with a jet sweep touchdown run from about 65 yards by Javon Wesley to make it a 9-7 ball game, and it went back and forth in the second half. Camden finally goes up 27-22 with about 3 minutes left to go in the game. Lancaster drives down the field and gets it to the 4-yard line. And in the process of clocking the ball, they didn't let the referee set the ball, so it was an illegal procedure which backed them up 5 yards. That became an important role because they would end up running 2 more plays, and the final play was snapped with 7 seconds left, and Camden stopped R.J. Brown, the quarterback, on the keeper at the 1-yard line as time ran out to seal the deal. So a lot of back and forth. But let me tell you, Lancaster, their record may not look it, but they are a physical football team. They got Kevin P., who just got an offer from South Carolina, who's committed to Georgia Tech. They are big up front. They like to run the football a ton. They don't throw the ball a whole lot. And just one of those games where you're fortunate you get out with a win and kind of exhale and now get ready for AC4 next week, which will determine second place in the region.
Big implications there.
Gracious. That's a heck of a ball game, Nathan. Try to get your heart rate down and maybe, pop some Tums if you need to.
Might be easier said than done in terms of the heart rate thing. Yeah, that's especially after a game like that.
No kidding.
The goal line stop to win it. Man, that's a big win for Camden, though, in terms of, showing what you're made of. That's an adverse situation right there.
I'd agree with that. Nathan, well, go ahead.
I was going to say, no doubt, we got stopped on the 1 yard line in the state championship game, so I'm glad we're on the right side of it this time. So.
There you go. Good point.
Feels a little bit better this time around.
Feels slightly different tonight than it did that night. Nathan, we appreciate it, man. Thanks so much.
Yes, sir. Y'all have a good weekend.
You too. That's
Thanks,
Nathan Martin, always giving us a shout, talking Camden. Let's hit a break. We'll come back. More of the Love Chevy High School Scoreboard Show coming up on the game.
10 years ago, who could have predicted what the internet would bring? Streaming videos, voice assistants, smartphones, smart homes, work from home. But here we are, wondering what the next 10 years will bring. Whatever it brings, Lumos 100% fiber optic internet is ready with incredible speeds and reliability. So you can do more and be more than you ever thought possible on the internet built for the future. Plans start at $50 per month. Learn more at lumosfiber.com/next.
They say perfection is a journey, and at Carolina Stone Craftsman, that journey leads us to just outside Columbia in Chapin. Our marble, our granite, our quartz, they're sculpted with the highest craftsmanship, honed with family values, and delivered with professional results. Explore the craftsmanship of each slab, see all our new showroom has to offer, and experience our custom hardscapes. Crafted to perfection, experience Carolina Stone Craftsman's workmanship. Take us for granted. Your journey to perfection starts with us, Carolina Stone Craftsman. Just beyond Columbia and Chapin and beyond your expectations. CarolinaStoneCraftsman.com.
You got the bye-week blues.
Stop the music. Gamecock Traditions has the cure for those blues with fantastic specials this week only. Short sleeve tees, 25% off. Get a painted Pilsner glass, regularly $19.99, now $10. Car flags, $5. Limit 2. Celebrate the win with $10 off Oklahoma victory shirts. All Gamecock hats, 25% off. Gamecock jewelry, fashion, gold or silver, 25% off. Plus many other in-store specials you won't want to miss. Gamecock Traditions, giving you the cure for your bye-week blues.
Hey guys, Jay Phillips for the Men's Clinic. Not feeling like yourself as you get a little older? You're wondering why? Don't wait for it to change or go away. Instead, see Dr. Dan Bognight and his team at the Men's Clinic. You'll have a one-on-one consultation that will get to the root of the issue and get you back to feeling like you used to. There's no such thing as a one-size-fits-all treatment at the Men's Clinic. Get a free consultation. Schedule one at 803-875-MENS and learn more online at themensclinicsc.com.
We keep the clutter out of your gutter. Call on the gutter man.
The Guttermen have been providing top-notch service throughout the Midlands for over 47 years, building their business on relationships, not gimmicks. And you can call them locally, not a 1-800 number. Call them today at 791-7147 and look for the guys in the powder blue trucks.
We keep the clutter out of your gutter. Call on the gutter man.
Voting is not a privilege, it's your right. A person with a disability deserves full access to the voting process. Disability Rights South Carolina encourages you to head to the polls on November 5th. From curbside voting to tabletop placement for wheelchair accessibility and audio ballot via headphones, voting is for everyone. If you have a disability-related voting problem in South Carolina, call 866-275-7273 or visit disabilityrightssc.com/voting.
It's the Love Chevy High School Scoreboard Show
with Justin Hall and Elijah Campbell on 107.5 The Game.
Welcome back into the Love Chevy High School Scoreboard Show. Justin Hall, Elijah Campbell, Ed Bird with you on a Friday night. Let's go back to the Love Chevy phone lines, 803-404-6100. George has us an update on the Richland Northeast ball game. What you got for us, George?
Hey there. The Cavaliers of Richland Northeast won with 13 seconds to go with about a 30-yard field goal to win 23-20. They were down 20-14 at the half. They kept York from scoring in the second half. Northeast scored a touchdown, missed the extra point, and so to two teams battling it out. It was the return of Will Wilson, and he looked pretty good for having come off an injury.
Well, George, we appreciate it. We were monitoring that game closely.
Certainly.
And,
gut check win. I count that as a gut check win.
That's a gut check win for the Cavaliers.
We can file it away as a gut check win.
And a good season continues for him. George, we appreciate you updating us and giving us the rundown of what happened there in those final minutes.
I'm glad to do it. I work at Northeast, so go Cavs.
There you go.
All right.
There you go. That's right.
I like that.
I appreciate that. We appreciate that because you need to know. You need to know when R&E has a big-time win. Are they challenging for Honda of Columbia Drive of the Week?
I think they are. I think they are. And look,
do some work on that.
This is one of those things, man. Will Wilson's still the real deal. We know he missed a lot of time, and I would say that at least once a week on this esteemed program, if you will, that Will Wilson, real deal tonight. I think George just helped us confirm that. Will Wilson, still the real deal. And if you want to talk about the most valuable players in the state of South Carolina, there might not be a more valuable player in terms of correlation to him playing and his team's success, quite like Will Wilson and R&E.
I agree. They need that young man. But I do like what the 2 games without him have done for that team's psyche going forward.
Certainly.
It was rough.
And still a confidence, though.
Right. You needed that, but you need Will Wilson back, especially if you're going to make a run in the playoffs. You need him.
Yeah, you're not maximizing your season's potential without him. That is for sure.
Right.
But I mean, him being able to come back, have the game like he did tonight to help engineer a comeback, that can only be an incredibly positive thing moving forward for them. And then really all their goals, they're still really very well in front of them, are a lot more doable now that they've seen that Will came back and was able to have that type of game.
Right. Here's an update for you. Swansea beats Fox Creek tonight 21-7. I'm quoting Uncle Lou. Big one next week. Newberry at Swansea.
Community game right there. Bring the town out. That's a game you bring the town out for.
I'm looking here at Saluta's Twitter page. So we had an angry run for Saluta on 3rd and inches. Turned into a 38-yard gain. And then they scored from 40 yards out. The extra point attempt is good. They have a 10-point lead with 1:25 to go in the 4th quarter. I think that game might be over.
Night.
Unless we get a BC Gilbert situation.
Oh, where onside kicks are a lot more likely to be recovered. Or someone just drills the ball at the
right.
I don't know, man. That's what it would take. That's what it would take, and I just don't find that likely. This one feels like it's pretty well done.
So we have a couple of situations developing here. Ainer defeats Georgetown 50-32. Aaron Boone pulled Garrett Cole. Thank you. I almost said Clayton Kershaw. That was incorrect. I'm looking at the Dodgers right now.
That would be crazy. If an opposing manager could pull an opposing pitcher.
That would be crazy. Garrett Cole is out of this game after 6 innings. He allowed the leadoff man to reach base. Since then, we have seen a batter get hit, and we have seen a sacrifice for Kike Hernandez to move the runners over. So you got runners on 2nd and 3rd with 1 out.
Will
Make
Smith
that 2.
Pops it up. Did not get jiggy with it.
No, he did not. So it's 2-1, 2 outs, trying to escape here. By the way, I mentioned it. Always a good Garrett Cole factoid is that in Game 2 of the College World Series in 2010, the South Carolina Gamecocks defeat the UCLA Bruins 2-1, and they did so with both Garrett Cole and Trevor Bauer in the bullpen.
Yeah, you're UCLA. I guarantee you, some coaches on that staff.
If they could go back, they'd probably do it.
Live with that one forever.
We all do. It's great. Yeah, Tristan Daniels had a 40-yard touchdown run to give Saluda that 10-point lead, and it would appear that game has been put on ice.
Oh, yeah.
Green Sea Floyds defeats Hemingway 48-6. That is a final there. And Hampton County, the Hurricanes, defeat Whale Branch 38-21. The Hurricanes move to 7-2 3-1 in the region, and they will be off for the next 2 weeks before they host the first round of the playoffs. Here's a conversation we can begin to have over the next couple of weeks. That ain't a good thing.
To have that much time off?
Before the playoffs? No. Yeah. That's not a good thing.
Agreed.
At all. That's the whole rest versus rust debate.
Rust wins
Lean
out
on rust.
a lot in that. Yeah, certainly.
Lean on rust, because I don't think that's going to end well. LE got a big win tonight over Spring Valley. Coach Leon Bulware giving a rousing pep talk after that game is over. Breakdown speech, if you will. So LE's getting there. LE's playing well. And again, we're going to get a good look at some updated region standings after tonight. They're going to give us a good idea. Somerville has won 42-14 over West Ashley. The Green Wave closed out 3 undefeated regular seasons at home. 19 straight wins at Memorial Stadium for Somerville.
That's quite the streak.
Fighting Preston Thorns. They are back-to-back region champs, and they are at Fort Dorchester next week.
We have a region championship crowning tonight. We thought we might see it happen, but you never know. But congrats to Somerville for securing yet another region championship. Shout out to Preston Thorne.
There you go. James Island has intercepted Ashley Ridge. That game is going to end 30-20. James Island over Ashley Ridge. That is a final.
Hangover game for Ashley Ridge confirmed.
No kidding. There's no doubt about that. No doubt about that. Let's see here if we got a few more as I refresh the timeline. No, everyone's talking about the Game 1 of the World Series, which is not a shock to me. Let's look over here at the other scoreboard. Tuesday scores, want to mention these. We haven't mentioned them before. Midland Valley 49, Airport 7. I didn't want to mention that one, but I guess I will.
At some point, we had to.
At some point, you got to mention that one.
We're not going to go 5-0 for you.
And look at that. There we go. Okay, Gray Collegiate 49-7 over Brooklyn Casey. Misery loves company.
Pretty good. Yeah, Gray Collegiate. Pretty damn good. I think we are in a collision course for them in North Augusta.
South Aiken defeats Gilbert 35-28. And let's go to the Love Chevy phone lines. Actually, no, incorrect. This is the Lumos guest line. Hit it, Edbert. Maybe.
Friday night guest line, sponsored by Lumos.
Lumos 100% fiber internet gives you the freedom to be free from cable internet.
Visit lumosfiber.com to learn more.
Chris Deering hasn't been on our program in so long. The Lumos guest line went, are you sure? Are you sure you want that? Are you sure? Chris Deering joins us on the Lumos guest line back stateside. Welcome home. How are things going up there in Newberry?
You can just call me World Traveler, man.
There you go. That's
Mr. Worldwide.
Mr. Worldwide, if you will. If you can put in a Dale and maybe a zip code, that'd work. What do you got for us tonight from up there watching that Newberry game?
I'll tell you what, Newberry is a pretty impressive football team. They have 3 losses on the year, but the 3 losses are to 3 pretty good teams in Clinton, Chapin, and Fairfield Central. So I think this Newberry team's they're on a mission. They talk about being the underdog and people not talking about them. After tonight, people might start talking about them. They beat up on Keenan 45-20. That sets up a big one next week, probably for the region title with Swansea. And I'm telling you, this Newberry team's got weapons. I mean, everybody knows about Jamel House, the kid that's committed to South Carolina at tight end, but he didn't score a touchdown tonight, and that tells you the type of depth they have. But it was sort of the Kenton Caldwell show. The quarterback, he scored 2 rushing touchdowns, the first 2 touchdowns of the game. First play of the game, he went 53 yards for the score, and then he threw 3 more touchdowns. He didn't play the fourth quarter. He played the first play of the fourth quarter. That was the last touchdown pass he threw. So big night for him, and this Newberry team's good. They got depth in the secondary. This Keenan team came in, scored a lot of points, and they were pretty much held in check most of the night. So I like this Newberry team. They could be a factor in the playoffs coming up.
Certainly, you alluded to that matchup coming up soon. A big one. I think it was Lou that tabbed it, a big one between Newberry and Swansea. Swansea, I still contest is the best story in the state, given their turnaround from winless last year to starting undefeated for like the first 5 or 6 weeks, but still having a chance to win the region. What are you looking forward to in that game right there? Because I can imagine the atmosphere for that one is going to be nothing short of electric.
Yeah, I think that game's at Swansea next week, and the whole town will be there. I can promise you that. They'll shut everything down, and everybody will be there. And Newberry had a good crowd tonight, so I expect them to travel over pretty well. I'll tell you, I did see the scores from last week. I was very surprised at the fact, maybe not that Swansea lost. Silver Bluff, even though they only have a few wins, they're a really good football team. But the margin of victory last week, I was a little bit surprised by that. But I saw Swansea bounce back tonight with a 21-7 win over Fox Creek. I expect next week to be sort of a low-scoring game. I think both defenses are really good. I think Swansea might match up well with this Newberry team, but I'm telling you that from what I saw from Newberry tonight, again, nobody's going to see them in November. They missed a few weeks with the hurricane and came back last week with a big win and another big win tonight. So I expect that game next week to be a war, and I might actually be out there. I just got to figure out where I'm going yet. I hadn't looked at the schedule.
Chris, one final thing before we let you go. I don't know if we've really had a chance to talk to you about this in recent weeks, obviously. Next week's going to be fun on November 1st because Saluda won tonight, and that sets up an undefeated matchup against an undefeated Batesburg-Leesville on November 1st. Exciting, huh?
Yeah, that's talking about another turnaround, Batesburg-Leesville, and that game, I can imagine both of those towns will shut down, and they'll pack that place out. And, yeah, that's a big one for a region title. Swansea and Newberry will be for a region title. There should be some region titles decided next week, and this could be some interesting football these last 2 weeks of the regular season coming up, and looking forward to it.
Well, Chris, if you can, don't travel to the Far East between now and next week, and we look forward to talking with you next Friday night. How about that? Then and by then the Lumos guest line will remember you.
It's a creature of habit.
It's a creature of habit, so it takes a little bit. It'll remember you, and we look forward to talking about whatever game you're at. I gotta imagine you got some candidates for next Friday night for sure.
I most certainly do. Yeah. We hadn't even talked about the region that didn't play this week with Dutch Fork and them.
Right.
So, yeah, we got some options next week for some pretty daggum good football games. So, looking forward to it. And, yeah, I'm not going anywhere anytime soon, I don't think. I should be here for the duration now, I believe.
Well-traveled enough, and that's perfectly all right with us. We look forward to talking with you next week, Chris. We appreciate it as always, man.
All right, thank you. Y'all have a good night.
You too.
You too.
Pretty dadgum good football games coming up next week. That's going to be my lead next Friday night. Go ahead and bookmark it. We're going to have to hit a break, so Uncle Lou's going to have to hold tight. You can actually tune into those games using the internet. We'll have all of that, and a word from our friends at Lumos here now, actually, on the Love Chevy High School Scoreboard Show.
That's right. So many of these games now you can stream via the World Wide Web. And the internet, as it was constructed 50 years ago, a little different than what we intend to use it for now. Back then, it was mostly for landlines, back when the landlines ruled, right? Cable TV was the future. That was the world in which the internet came to be. But now it is time for the future. Now it's time to be able to watch high school football games by streaming them online. And the best way to do that is with the highest speed internet imaginable. The best way to do that is with 100% fiber optic internet that is built from the ground up. This is not just any type of internet. It's built for these communities where we live, work, thrive, and grow. It's for families who have smartphones, video games, voice assistants, tablets to stream these high school football games on, nanny cams, and so much more. It's internet built for the most hopeful of all things, the future. Lumos, internet built for the future. See your future at lumosfiber.com.
Palmetto Citizens Federal Credit Union wants to reward you for saving more of your hard-earned money, and they can't think of a better way to do it than with more cash. When you participate in Palmetto Citizens Save to Win program, every time you make a savings deposit of just $25, you'll be entered into a monthly monthly and quarterly prize drawing for a chance to win up to $5,000. All the money that piles up in your Save to Win account is yours to keep, along with the interest you earned, so there's never been a better time to get the ball rolling on your savings plan. With a Save to Win account, there's nothing to lose and everything to win. Open your 12-month Save to Win term certificate account and start saving today by visiting any of Palmetto Citizens' 14 branches across the Midlands, or go to palmettocitizens.org to learn more. Palmetto Citizens, proudly serving the Midlands since 1936. Account may be subject to penalty for early withdrawal. This credit union is federally insured by the NCUA.
Fall is here, and with it comes all the traditional family outings like tailgating, mountain and beach adventures, and road trips to grandma's over the holidays. Wherever you go, go with great gas mileage, safety, technology, comfort, and style in a new Honda from Honda of Columbia. Right now, you'll get more for your trade than ever, and as always, you'll enjoy their no-hassle pricing, no-pressure buying experience. Honda of Columbia, your friendly family Honda dealer since 1978. Highway 378 at I-20.
We are so excited. Sound and Images has upgraded to a phenomenal facility at 807 Bluff Road, right there across the street from our friends at the State Fair. We have new upgraded facilities, video conferencing room experience that will seat up to 35 people depending on configuration. We also have meeting space and venue space on property to offer our partners at Sound and Images. Please contact Sound and Images at soundandimages.net, your commercial AV installation and live event production specialists.
Life matters. Life is full of tough questions. If God is a God of love, why does he put all the calories in stuff like ice cream instead of spinach? Why does he let people who snore always fall asleep first? The list goes on and on. These questions and others like them do have answers, but the answers come only after some pursuit. We need to remember that God is not merely some superhuman, as the Greeks and Romans taught. God is knowable, but not on our terms. The Bible says he is loftier than we can comprehend, yet he did two wonderful things to make himself known. He gave us his written word, the Bible. Then he gave us his son, Jesus. When Mary and Joseph were told about the coming birth of Christ, they were told that he would be known as Jesus, which means Savior, but also as Emmanuel, which means God with us. For the first time ever, we could see God up close. This is Stephen Chitty, pastor of Christian Life. Remember, life matters, and so do you.
It's the Love Chevy High School Scoreboard Show
with Justin Hall and Elijah Campbell on 107.5 The Game.
Welcome back into the Love Chevy High School Scoreboard Show on The Game. Justin Hall, Elijah Campbell, Ed Bird with you just past the 10:30 mark here on the Love Chevy High School Scoreboard Show. Wherever Jay Phillips is right now, his ears just kind of perked up. He's just like, wait, fish? Anyway.
He is hype.
We had...
We have summoned him almost. Is that him at the door?
Is he here?
You weren't even at your show today. Get out of here.
Oh, man. We had Chris Deering on. Appreciate it. Lou Bezak is next. This guest line knows Lou Bezak. Let's hit it.
Friday Night Guest Line, sponsored by Lumos.
Lumos 100% fiber internet gives you the freedom to be free from cable internet.
Visit lumosfiber.com to learn more.
That's right. Lou Bezak doesn't travel anywhere in the middle of the season, even though that is Chris's job. I don't mean to hate on him for that, but Lou's here every single Lou was on Lou was on this morning before the sun came up on these airwaves, and here he is when the sun's gone down on these airwaves. Hardest working man in high school
That's right.
football.
Give it up.
Is Lou Bezak. Welcome in, sir. How was the game you attended tonight?
Yeah, it was pretty good for a half, and then Lugoff Elgin kind of poured it on in the second half, and we were able to get their first win and finish their regular season, and we'll get ready for the playoffs. So I have 2 weeks off for the playoffs, the 5A Division II playoffs, and not a bad first year for Leon Bower, 4-6. Getting back to the playoffs, and definitely got a lot of talent, a lot of young talent, and they can throw the ball, and they were doing it tonight. Aiden Fitzgerald had 4 touchdown passes, 3 to Shamil Sadiq.
who I think has a chance to be pretty special. He's just a junior. He's really tall, lanky, he can catch the ball. Lugoff's defense played well. I think they forced 6 or 7 turnovers and came up with a big win tonight. And like I said, they'll finish probably, I think, fifth or sixth in the region, but the way the playoffs, they're going to be a tough out for whoever they play in that first round in a couple weeks.
Lou, tonight has laid out some different scenarios, and the one game we were watching was Saluda-Strom-Thurmond. And with Saluta's win, it sets up an undefeated matchup against Batesburg-Leesville next week for the region title.
1 versus 2. 1 versus 2 in 2A.
Yeah, how big of a game? Can you put into perspective how big of a game that is for the folks in Saluda and the folks like Batesburg-Leesville is going to be empty next Friday. They're all going to go to Saluda.
Yeah, it's going to be packed. It's just going to be a heck of a matchup there. You got 1 versus 2 and just unbeaten. Batesburg, it's been a few years since they took their lumps, and Coach Lawson got them going. They got a good quarterback in Tanner Watkins, and Amadre Wooden is, I think, one of the better kept secrets in the area, running back. So I think, and we know what Saluda can do with Stuart Young, won a state championship a few years ago, got their quarterback back, Drew Arand, but Braden Williams has been great, either at quarterback or wherever they line him up, and just to be an awesome small town football game rivalry, and just definitely a good place to be if you're looking for a football game next Friday night.
And another one of those that we'll put in that category, too, talk to Chris Daring about it a little bit. Swansea going to be hosting Newberry. Newberry got a big win tonight. Some region implications in that one as well. I think that's another one of those games where, Justin says, Batesburg-Leesville is going to be completely empty. Well, Newberry might be completely empty because they might be all going to Swansea. This is a bring the whole town out to the game. And it's going to be a really cool weekend because we're going to have a lot of region championships crowned, but we also have some of those games locally in some smaller towns that are hosting some games with some big implications, and that should be really good matchups as well. And that's the one that I think I'm really probably maybe the most excited for.
Yeah, I'm trying to pick see which one, and then like Chris mentioned, then you throw in the region, Dutch Fork Irma, they're back in action. That region back in action. Of course, everyone's looking for the game on November 8th, Dutch Fork and Irma, but that region gets back in action, and it's going to be fun these next few weeks. Obviously, with the added week because of the hurricane, and got some great games on the 8th, but next week is shaping up to be a fun region championship, and we'll be able to have most of the playoffs in Class A through 3A decided by next week, and probably won't know the 4A, 5A matchups till because of the RPI and all that, probably until after the games on the 8th. But yeah, it's crunch time, and it's we got some great stories and great surprises this year, and it's making things fun these last few weeks of the season.
It certainly is. Lou, parting shot for you here. I said it earlier, and I think I'm right. That region with Midland Valley, Airport, Gray, and all those other folks, North Augusta, I was told by a coach preseason that it was pound for pound maybe the best region in the Midlands. That region, I would call it top heavy. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, and we talk about the 8th, you're going to have Gray and North Augusta, and you got that's going to be a great matchup. And then you got we got games tomorrow. You got Gilbert and Airport. You got BC going to North Augusta, and those regions had to kind of. It's been tough. 3 games in like 12, 13 days for some of those teams. And I know I was at a game Tuesday night, BC and Gray, and it's there's a lot of intensity. But these guys. They're limping a little bit. They're trying to get these games in, and it's been kind of weird. But I think once they get through this week, and everything will be made up. You'll have a game at the end at the 8th, but to get everything made up, and I think it's going to be teams to watch. Gray and North Augusta, I think, could really make a run in 4A for sure.
Lou Bijak, always appreciated on the Lumos guest line, sir. Thank you. Appreciate it. We'll talk to you next Friday night.
Thanks, guys.
Let's stay on the Love Chevy phone lines now. Quickly, Cale, I'm up against it. What you got for us?
All right, guys. I'm calling you from Saluda, South Carolina, as the Saluda Tigers have defeated the Strom-Thurmond Rebels 35-25 and that sets up a huge region title match next week as they face off against Batesburg, Leesville, and I have Coach Stuart Young here with me as well.
All right, so Coach, really quickly for you, Coach Young joining us on the Love Chevy phone lines that can transition to Lumos guest line now, just really briefly. Coach, the big win for you guys over Strom Thurmond, and we're already looking ahead, and you can now that this game's over. This sets up one of the biggest games in the entire state next week. Your team's been building to this moment. What's the message going to be in practice to them this week heading into that game hosting Batesburg-Leesville?
You don't get this opportunity much, if ever, as a high school athlete, and we need to take advantage of the experience of the week and the preparation, but also understanding that it is a big game. And so we got to come prepared, and I think our kids will handle that challenge. I haven't watched Batesburg yet to know, but I know they're good, and so we'll have our hands full for sure.
And, Coach, I mean, obviously the thrilling win tonight. We'll talk about that one real quick. What was kind of the key for you guys to be able to pull this win out, and in a game that's so emotionally charged with so much on the line, especially given what happened to you guys against Strom Thurmond last year and the history of the series with you guys and Strom Thurmond? What does it say about your team to be able to put last year behind them, win all your games to this point this year, and be able to get over that Strom Thurmond hump tonight?
Well, we've matured as a team throughout the year. We had an injury to the quarterback position week 1, and he was out for 3 or 4 weeks, so we had to move a new running back to quarterback. Now he's back at running back, and I think that really helped his maturity, and he became a leader, and he's the one that kind of took over the fourth quarter at running back. And, we didn't really look at last year. Last year, that's in the past, but we did look at the rivalry, and they dominated us for so long. And I think this right here puts us 5-5 over the last 10 years, so we've kind of evened it out the last decade against them. But, man, they're good. They're well coached, heck of a football team, Strom Thurmond is. They're going to make some noise. Those guys are really good.
Coach Young from the Saluda Tigers, big win tonight, a 10-point win for you guys over Strom Thurmond, setting up a region title game next Friday night, and we look forward to tracking that one.
Possibly. They still got to play Batesburg, so if it could come down to a 3-way tie at the end of this thing. But hopefully, if we win, I think we'll be, we win it. But if we lose it, then it comes a 3-way tie possibly, but we'll see. But big win. I mean, big matchup next week.
I'm gonna bill it as a region title game, and we'll deal with that if we need to on the back end of it,
Okay.
Coach. How does that sound?
I'll take it.
Appreciate it. That's Coach Young of the Saluda Tigers joining us on the Love Chevy phone lines. We appreciate it. Big win tonight for Saluda over Strom Thurmond. We'll take a break, come back, and wrap up the program right here on the Love Chevy High School Scoreboard Show on the game.
10 years ago, who could have predicted what the internet would bring? Streaming videos, voice assistants, smartphones, smart homes, work from home. But here we are, wondering what the next 10 years will bring. Whatever it brings, Lumos 100% fiber optic internet is ready with incredible speeds and reliability. So you can do more and be more than you ever thought possible on the internet built for the future. Plans start at $50 per month. Learn more at lumosfiber.com/next.
Have you had a broken windshield compliments of those South Carolina roads? The insurance company might try to steer you one way to the big national guide, but remember, it's your choice. Go local. Call Absolute Glass.
We can repair your car back to factory specifications, including recalibrating all of your safety systems. We do great work and have been building long-lasting relationships for over 20 years.
That's why we've been voted Best Glass Company in Lexington for 15 straight years. Visit us online at AbsoluteGlassInc.com or call us at 951-7200. And remember, if you can see through it, we can do it.
Fall is here, and with it comes all the traditional family outings like tailgating, mountain and beach adventures, and road trips to grandma's over the holidays. Wherever you go with great gas mileage, safety, technology, comfort, and style in a new Honda from Honda of Columbia. Right now, you'll get more for your trade than ever, and as always, you'll enjoy their no-hassle pricing, no-pressure buying experience. Honda of Columbia, your friendly family Honda dealer since 1978. Highway 378 at I-20.
Hey, Columbia, Scott here with Traditions Fine Jewelers, telling you about the diamond buying difference when you purchase a diamond from us. No matter if you're looking at mined diamonds or lab-grown diamonds, at Traditions Fine Jewelers, we have a huge selection of both, and which you choose is up to you, but either way, you always get trade-in value of the diamond solitaire you purchase. When you spend over $1,500, you'll get a limited lifetime warranty when you get your ring checked every 6 months. Traditions has an in-house jeweler with over 30 years experience to take care of your every need. Ring sizing, stone setting, or if you just want to come by and get your ring cleaned. At Traditions Fine Jewelers, we have hundreds of mountings to see, touch, and feel, and to try on, or we can special order or custom create the perfect engagement ring for you. Traditions Fine Jewelers, 5134 Sunset in Lexington, or in the Village at Sand Hills. Traditions Fine Jewelers, where the Midlands get engaged.
Bill Gunner for Dr. Dan Balknight and the Men's Clinic. Getting older is never fun. You start experiencing some symptoms that you're not accustomed to. Maybe it's brain fog. Maybe it's low energy level. Maybe it's lack of drive and motivation. But at the Men's Clinic, Dr. Dan Balknight is ready to help you with an individualized treatment that will treat your needs. So give him a phone call today, 803-875-MENS. Again, that's 803-875-MENS, or visit him on the web for more information, men'sclinicsc.com.
It's the Love Chevy High School Scoreboard Show
with Justin Hall and Elijah Campbell on 107.5 The Game.
Welcome back into the Love Chevy High School Scoreboard Show on The Game. Final segment on a Friday night, and we go right to the Love Chevy phone lines. Willie is up next. Go ahead, Willie.
What's happening? You talk about the game in Saluda between Salute and Batesburg Leeswood next week, which could result in a three-way tie. Give it up for Orangeburg Wilkinson High School. They came away with a big win over the Battery Creek Dolphins, 37-13. And special congratulations to our Orangeburg Wilkinson running back named Derek Thomas. He surpassed 1,000 yards in tonight's game, rushed for a couple of big touchdowns, and with that win, Orangeburg Wilkinson's victory sets up the Region 6 Class 3A title in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. They will take on the Oceanside Collegiate Land Sharks. This is a big game. Both teams will be duking it out down in Mount Pleasant, so inviting all Bruin Nation to make their way down that I-26 headed towards Mount Pleasant as we take on those Land Sharks.
Thank you, Willie. We appreciate it. Big win for OW and sets up another. Again, we got a lot of big-time games next week. Roger is up next. Roger gets to close us out on the Love Chevy phone lines tonight. What you got for us, bud?
Got 3-game score. First of all, Hartsville Red Flossers had a high score tonight, 70-8 over Lakewood Assumption. Next score, Calhoun County beat Richmond at 14-6. Which Hunter County beat Blackwood 59-12. Which Hunter County went to conference title outright, and they played Richmond next week. They beat the conference title outright. The Bowl State by Carolina Gamecock football team. They may beat Missouri, even maybe beat Texas A&M next 3 weeks.
Boom. That's Roger dropping the mic on us, letting you know that South Carolina could very well beat Missouri and A&M, which, again, that would get you to bowl eligibility with still games against Wofford, Vanderbilt, and Clemson left. So, Roger, we appreciate it. He sends us home on the Love Chevy phone lines. We do have to get you one final look at your scoreboard here. Oh, and our Honda of Columbia Drive of the Week. How could I? Oh, my goodness. I almost just
How could you forget?
Whew, careful. How about this one? Go ahead, Ed Bird.
The Drive of the Week, sponsored by Honda of Columbia.
We got so busy talking about all these other games. Honda of Columbia Drive of the Week. I'm being kind of non-democratic here. Sorry, I didn't take a vote. Richland Northeast.
Yeah.
Okay. Richland Northeast gets the win tonight. They were down 20-13. 10 unanswered points, including a field goal late. They win 23-20.
Will Wilson, real deal.
Honorable mention: Camden holds up at the 1-yard line to win their ball game over Lancaster. Now we get a look at the rundown of the full state scoreboard. Bamberg Earhart, the Red Raiders take down Allendale Fairfax 43-6. East Clarendon over the Atlantic Collegiate Armada 45-10. Jefferson Davis beat the Kings Lions 68-6. You know, little Civil War history. A lot of folks south of the Mason-Dixon line thought Abraham Lincoln thought he was a king, so they may get revenge tonight. 68-6, the final score there.
There's a Civil War connection.
There you go. Boom. There's your one. Francis Hugh Wardlaw 54, Oakbrook 12, Greenwood Christian 47, Clarendon Hall 6, Cathedral. The Generals take down Conway Christian 52-8. Bethesda falls to PD 25-22. Pinewood Prep over First Baptist 45-14. Northwood over Augusta Christian 28-6. Latta edged out by Hannah Pamplico. The Raiders take down the Vikings 27-22. Abbeville does what they do, 54-14 winners over Dixie over in Due West. Woodland takes down Academic Magnet 56-7, while St. Joseph Catholic defeats Palmetto by 3 touchdowns 35-14. Christchurch Episcopal hits a grand slam to break the tie. They beat Southside Christian 11-7. In our scoregami game of the night, Powdersville, the Patriots over Carolina High and Academy 56-20. BHP over Pendleton 48-7, while Saluda defeats Strom Thurmond by 10, 35-25. Batesburg-Leesville shuts out Pillion 48-0, setting up an undefeated, possibly winner-take-all for the region title next week between the Panthers of Batesburg-Leesville and the Tigers of Saluda. Westwood, the Red Hawks fall to West Florence 13-8. Hartsville, high score of the night, 70-8 winners over Lakewood. Crestwood comes back to beat our Darlington Falcons 21-14. Richland Northeast 23, York 20. Emerald over Fountain Inn 37-34. Burns is trailing Spartanburg 51-14 in the fourth quarter. They had an injury stoppage there, serious situation. Clover, the Blue Eagles, dispatch of Nation Ford 53-20. The Stags of Berkeley, the Fighting Chris Deerings, take down Lucy G. Beckham 30-9. Augusta Homeschool takes down Victory Christian 42-12. Hilton Head Prep over Christian Academy of Myrtle Beach 56-13. Colleton Prep over Dorchester 38-12. Patrick Henry falls to Orangeburg Prep 40-28. The Wilson Hall Barons take down the Sumter Generals 44-0. Northside Christian over Florence Christian 34-7. Thomas Hayward over Carolina 51-6. Green Sea Floyds beats Hemingway 48-6. Carvers Bay 38-14 winners over Johnsonville. Cross beats Bethune-Bowman 52-0. Wagner Sally edged by Williston Elko 25-24. Blue Devils over the War Eagles. Calhoun over Rich Spring Winetta 14-6. HKT 59-12 winners over Blackville Hilda. Louisville Lions 52. Great Falls 7. WJ Keenan falls 45-20 to Newberry. Loris defeats Marlboro County in a forfeit. Hanahan over North Charleston 43-8. Swansea over Fox Creek 21-7. Dillon over Waccamaw 47-39. The Woodruff Wolverines take down the Chapman Panthers 44-10. Mountain View Christian remains undefeated. They win 49-20. Aner over Georgetown 50-32. Manning over Marion 38-13. And the Kingstree Jaguars take down the Mullins Auctioneers 52-12. Woo! That is how you end a program on a Friday night. We'll be back with you next Friday. It'll be the first Friday in November. Still 2 weeks in the regular season to go. Region titles will be won next week. Playoff tickets punched. And we got a lot of great games coming for you next Friday night. For Ed Bird, for Elijah Campbell, I'm Justin Hall. What a night this has been. We will talk to you guys next week right here on the Love Chevy High School Scoreboard Show on the Game.
Years ago, who could have predicted what the internet would bring? Streaming videos, voice assistants, smartphones, smart homes, work from home. But here we are, wondering what the next 10 years will bring. Whatever it brings, Lumos 100% fiber optic internet is ready with incredible speeds